What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again, episode 56. Here again, another Friday. Thank you so much for being with us. I hope you have a beverage of your preference in hand, maybe some snacks ready to go, comfortable on the couch, feet up, had a hard week. Cheers to you guys. Fucking party on. Resident homies, what's going on, dudes? Joel, Joseph, and Casey, always with me. This week we got a new homie of mine starting about 10 minutes ago, Andrew Baird from fucking Fallujah. What's going on, Andrew?
How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you, fellas.
Yeah, dude.
Man. What's up?
Fuck yeah, dude. Sick ass fucking drummer, dude. Before we get into it with you though, let's plug some shows and shit coming up for Joseph.
Yeah. So here we go. So I am going to be filling in for the Last of Lucy on a little 3-show run this coming December, about 3 weeks from now. And this is the first show. We're playing with Symbolic as the headliner. And then Ominous Ruin are going to be doing all 3 shows with us.
Fuck yeah.
This is Broken Glass Sanctuary. And this is at Cafe Colonial in Sacramento. So that's Friday, December 3rd. The next day, next 2 shows, Vitriol are coming home from their tour. They're out on tour with Dying Fetus right now. So these are their routing dates home. So we're playing this show. They used the old Last of Lucy logo for this. I just noticed. And Reminiscence and Great Void on this one. And then our homecoming show, Vitriol with Logistic Slaughter. And then Eviscerate and Ontogeny as well.
What up, Ontogeny?
Oh, sick.
Shout out to Nate.
Right.
And this will be December 5th at the Homestead Bowl and X Bar in Cupertino.
December 5th, is that a Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I should have said this is this Saturday show is Tulare. So this is Fresno area at Barmageddon. And then our last show is coming home to Cupertino. So if you're in any of those 3 cities, I can come out and say what's up and hang out with Cali Death.
Hell yeah.
I'm actually putting on a show on the 5th also at Oceanside Brewing Company in Oceanside. And it's going to be a bunch of student bands and stuff, like punk bands and metal, and, it's going to be fun. So,
okay.
Can't make it up there to that's in the Bay, Cupertino, right? That's like San Jose.
Yeah.
So, anyways, cool.
Nice, dude.
Those look sick, man. I want to go to those shows.
I know. I was hoping that was a Saturday. I was actually planning on that being a Saturday. So I'm kind of now rearranging work schedules in my head to make that work.
I think that Saturday you might be in Pacifica. I just found out today Pat's having a homecoming party, dude.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be there.
December 4th. So let's do that.
Maybe I could do that, bring some clothes, catch it on the way back.
Boom.
That'd be
there
sick.
It'd be a rough Monday, though.
Work on Monday.
Yeah. Well, I know that Vitriol has Chasen Westmoreland drumming for them right now. So that'll be a sick headlining set. Absolutely.
One of the best drummers, in my opinion, honestly. Just
absolutely
sneaky good drummer.
Yeah, totally. I've just actually watched some videos of him today and was like, holy fuck. Like he's been my friend on Facebook forever. And I just randomly watched some of his videos. I'm like, whoa.
He's been posting on Insta a bit more. And it's been nice to see like drum footage of him like in a live environment, at least, like kind of come back on his profile and be like, that's right. You're like amazing at drums. It's like you missed it. It's been a long time, man.
Spoiler alert, he's going to be on the podcast soon.
Ooh, nice.
Just talking
nice.
About it,
And I think we'll get some of the other performers of these shows on the podcast at some point too. Nice. I think Symbolic Alan would be rad. So what's up, Alan? Let's do it. And then the Logistic guys, absolutely as well. And
should we get Nate from Ontogeny on, dude? I mean, that would be a kind of a good get, right?
I don't know. He's really busy. We'll see if we can get him done.
Get his 5th time on.
Shout out to Eviscerate. We hung out with Eviscerate at the Wolf King and who was that headliner? Damn it.
Fuck.
Joel.
Skeletal
Remains. Yeah, we hung out the Eviscerate guys. They're rad. So anyway, bringing it back to Andrew. What's up, man?
Dude. Speaking of fucking talented drummers, dude, Andrew Baird, dude. You fucking rule, dude. So
thanks, man. Thank you.
We all want to hear your story. Like the way that I always say, the way that we do this is take us back to as far as you possibly can remember when music like was something more than just background noise for you,
man.
And when it started becoming, not only that, I want to create it and when did you get into getting an instrument and figuring out how to fucking play music?
Yeah. So I've been around music, not particularly just drums, but like music in general since I was a young kid, a wee lad. My mother and my father actually owned an entertainment business far before I was born. So as I grew up, I kind of was like getting involved with them in this business of theirs, and it was music actually kind of involving the Pacific Islands. So a lot of music that was like Hawaiian, Tahitian, Samoan, Tongan, Maori, cultural music, and it's like really there's like a big emphasis on like storytelling through the music as well. And percussively, it's a very, very big strong suit in these different types of cultures. So I grew up in that actually when I was since I was born, and so did my sister too. We were kind of like a musically driven family, and it was the family business, and it was what kept everything running. And my mom and dad like put it together before the term gig economy was like even coined like a term of any kind, really. But yeah, I grew up with that, and I learned how to play drums through those types of cultures. So I can give you a list of names, but I don't know if a lot of people would know what I'm talking about. Like
name a few.
Like tuetes, like pahus, which are basically like giant bass drums that you hit with a mallet. Everything's like used with like wood and like goat skins, dried and like super tightened down with rope to get like really unique earthy tones and stuff. So
totally.
So are you Polynesian?
So I have a small percentage of Pacific Islander within me on my mother's side of things, and then on my dad's side, he was more the European melting pot, so Scottish and French, English, and that kind of thing, a little bit of German. So, but for my mother's side, it was actually more geared to Asian Hawaiian, Asian Hawaiian, Asian American, so to speak. So got like a tiny bit of percentage of Pacific Islander in me. So, but that's kind of how I started. And then I sadly lost my mother when I was about 8 years old. And I want to say when I turned about 10 years old, I stumbled upon Metallica in the car for the first time from my uncle, and got blown away by a drummer with 2 kick drums. Like, just blew me away as a kid, So, and then from that step onward, it just kind of slowly started turning into my desire for heavier and then faster and then like technical like music after a while. So,
so going through like middle school and stuff and growing your taste for metal and searching for it and finding new stuff. How did that grow for you? Like, take us through that a little bit.
I think I would like to think I could speak up for a lot of like musicians and I guess metalheads and metal enthusiasts in general. But sometimes family dynamics or modern, stresses of our daily lives, school, relationships. Eventually we need escapes. We need tools to help us get away from the hardships of life, and metal kind of helped me get through some manic depression after losing my mother at a young age. That was my first time experiencing grief and loss. And when you're a kid, it's hard to process a lot of these emotions, but I felt like I could connect with metal in a way where a lot of pent up emotions and anger and angst and stuff.
It's helping you release some steam.
Exactly. So metal was a really good tool for me to continue onward and to be okay with the fact that I'm not going to have a mother for the rest of my life. And then I started understanding like, wait, I can actually probably use this to feel good about myself and be a little bit more confident. So like I took that with me into high school. I actually got my first drum set when I was about 14. It was actually a drum set for the family business, but then I kind of just hogged it, and then I put it in the garage, and then I just like made it into my own drum set after a while. My dad just didn't even put up with like taking it for gigs.
Where were you growing up?
So I live in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay.
I grew up in the East Bay.
Nice.
Pretty much my entire life. And I went to like San Ramon Valley High School over here in San Ramon and stuff. And man, I just made it a valiant effort to like go to school. If I had sports, just go to sports and then bust out as much drumming as I could over the weekends or something like that. And then eventually I stopped doing sports to drum more because I was like so enamored by the world of bands and maybe touring one day. But yeah,
so you're already deep in the metal before you got the drum set.
I was not deep into it, but I was acquainted. Like I think at the time it was a lot of Metallica, a lot of Iron Maiden.
What would you come home and what would be your like? I can't wait to jam this song out when I get home. Whatever cover song, your favorite cover.
Master of Puppets, man. Come on, my dude. I loved it so much back then that even like I had a bass guitar just lying around, I would still try and thump along to it on bass during that like experimental phase of your life where you're like, I don't know what kind of instrument I want to like play or like get into. And then I just realized I think I'm just destined for percussion, you know? So, but yeah, listen to a lot of bands, a lot of like older like metal bands when I was younger. And then I stumbled upon like Unearth and like As I Lay Dying and All That Remains when I was like freshman, sophomore year in high school. And then everything changed. Actually, my first real metal show I saw was the Sanctity of Brothers tour in 2005 it was like Unearth headline, Bleeding Through, Animosity headline that too.
Oh shit.
Through the Eyes of the Dead. Terror was on that one. Yeah, it was like my first show ever at the Fillmore in San Francisco.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. So to go back to your question, I've been like just playing drums in general since I was a young kid, but I got into metal. I'd want to say like 13 or 14 years old as a means of making me feeling like I could belong in like an environment and I can escape from just the growth of kids from adolescence to being a teenager and just trying to understand the world without a parental figure, you know.
I wonder what that is, dude. Like us as, you know, boys growing up in adolescence, and is it just it's existential angst mixed with excess testosterone and anger and then we blow it off with listening to music, you know, like we don't even physically get it out. I mean, yeah, you physically get it out when you're headbanging and if you're actually you're moshing and shit, but really it just the sitting and listening to something aggressive can actually take away some of that shit, you know.
Absolutely.
It's weird.
I think we're also as kids, you know, and no offense to like any of your parents or anything like that, or just your living situation at home. But
why
I think
are you talking shit about my mom, dude?
Dude, I'm sorry, dude. My bad. Dude, when we're growing up, I don't think at least when I speak for men, like for boys growing into being young adults into men, we live in like a society where I think being depressed or anxious, we have to like mask it because we're around people who don't want us to be that way. And this could be your mother, your father, your teachers, principals, friends, I don't know, whoever. And I think, and I'm neurodivergent, so I have ADD. I've had ADD since I was a young kid, and I could not do well in school at all. Meanwhile, my sister was being an honor roll student and getting straight A's and doing really well. And I was getting frustrated with that. So I found my other means of enjoyment in like the creative side of things. So yeah, music and drums and percussion stuff. And eventually like the band dynamic thing and like, and the scene and that sort of thing, you know. I want to think that we just don't get the opportunities to be a bit more expressive when we're young, because there's a lot of implications from society being like, you got to be this way. You got to be that way. You got to act a certain way. Men can only be tough. Men can only be strong. That's all you can be. Crying? No, you can't cry. No feelings. None of that. And I'll just remind you all that's honestly, it's kind of bullshit, because that just means you're denying yourself your humanity at that point. Anyways, totally. I'm getting on a tangent, but
no, we love tangents, dude.
But I think metal gives that to people, you know. And God, it's been such a good release and a helpful like tool and a healing item, you know, for many people out there to feel like they belong in an environment where like, hey, we like you for who you are, and we're sorry you had to go through some weird shit. Also, check out this sick, you know, check out this sick album from this one sick band, you know? So that's kind of how I grew up with metal. And then realizing I got to bring this into my life more directly because it's starting to bear me such really wonderful fruits in life, you know, health and fitness and like more confidence in life. And I'm focusing on things that I've been really wanting to do since I was a kid now, but maybe I couldn't because, you know, societal implications, being compared to other students in school and other people, you know? So
I think I want to know like the fucking percentage of like, because, you know, I've diagnosed ADD or ADHD, whatever they call it now. Because back when I was a kid, too, got the extra testing time and all the things. And I just couldn't comprehend. I just like, as far as like just reading comprehension and stuff like that is just like terrible. Like, it's like the worst. Like, I can't like, for me, reading, I'm just constantly out in I'm thinking about like 9 different things when I read.
I have it too.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I wonder what the percentage of people that like are into like technical, crazy music in general or just metal for this conversation like have that, you know, because they want constant changing riffs, all the things changing. It's always more progressive, more like pushing and stuff like that. It seems like it kind of has to do with the never, you know, you kind of want more and more. It's just like you want like constant change and not just, you know, be stuck on something too long.
We're neurodivergent. We're not neurotypical. So we need stimulus, like creative stimulus, mental stimulus, emotional too, you know, which is probably why I don't know if any of you got into like sports or anything as a kid or got into like extracurricular activities, but did you not feel like so stoked on like playing capture the flag when you were a kid or football practice or basketball or baseball so I was a swimmer and man, sports like changed everything. So when it comes to like metal and being on stage and headbanging till your neck like flies across the room or playing like crazy fast drums, like those are stabilizers for people like us, you know, for neurodivergence, because now we can like get our chaos in our mind honed into a specific direction, you know.
Definitely.
I feel like I have some of that for sure. Now that you guys are explaining it to me, I'm like, this all sounds like me, dude.
I wouldn't honestly be surprised if all of us in this podcast right now has some varying degree of neurodivergency. Like, I mean,
everything's a spectrum. And with what you guys are saying, like, I have those things, those times where I'm reading something and I have to continue going back and rereading because my mind wandered somewhere else while I was reading that, you know? And
you have to go back and catch up. Dude. Yeah, exactly.
And how we always want more and we don't like to stay stagnant in one thing too much. It definitely, it resonates with me with you guys saying this right now. So maybe I need to go get diagnosed too, dude.
So Joseph is a professor and I'm curious.
Okay.
He became a professor. So do you have any of this, Joseph, or no?
No, I don't really.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I was just thinking about it and like, if it's a good book, I can like sit and read an entire book in like a day.
That's what I was quick. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I am like that too. If it is a story that completely hooks me, dude, I have no issues. There's been weeks of my life where I was able to finish 4 books in that week just because it was a fucking like a run that just went and came and gone because it was something that was so perfect to me that I was reading. You know?
Congratulations. All right.
But most of the time, if I'm trying to get into some shit. But yeah,
I will say, Joseph. Like the neurobiology of like neurodivergency isn't really super grounded or well understood yet. So there's a lot of people who like kind of will argue that some of these are somewhat socially constructed and based on like a relationship with the society you're in and not just like something in your brain. So I think there's like other ways of thinking about this stuff too. And I just think that like a lot of school, like what you have to read is really kind of boring and sucks. And I think that there's a tendency to medicalize some of that stuff. And I don't know. I just think that there's like alternative education systems that try to get around that. So I'm kind of interested in this whole area and teach it as a teacher. I like have neurodivergent students. And so I like work with them to try to like figure out what works best.
Which is good for you, because I know growing up in like the 90s and early 2000s, we didn't have as much information on neurodivergency like we do today in like 2021. That's good to hear that you're, first of all, I actually didn't know you're a professor, but it's also nice to hear that you're like trying to accommodate for your students in a manner that's actually going to individually like help them as best as they can, given the kind of person they are, that's really cool.
Absolutely. And this is also like an era with like mass higher education. So we like are bringing more and more students into the college system. And so there's a greater and greater expectation that people are going to be able to go to college and going to be able to do all this, but it really is not a one size fits all thing. So if we're going to have mass higher education, we need to understand that we need to fit, individualize that to some extent as well. So yeah.
Definitely.
Individualized for sure. That's the key word right there, because it really isn't individualized,
Yeah, absolutely.
What's really weird about like going and getting actually diagnosed kind of recently, probably like 6 months ago. I mean, I already knew I had it, but I just wanted to, I have like good insurance now, so I'm like, might as well use this fucking insurance. Like I never use it, so I'm like, I might as well go to the mental health side of things with some issues that I might think I have. And they were really obsessed with me smoking. Like I don't really smoke pot, but they really wanted to know, like, so how much pot do you smoke? Like, what's up with the pot consumption? Pot. It was just constant about pot. And I was like, dude, you can piss test me. I don't smoke pot. Like they really, the doctor kind of like immediately went to like, oh, are you just a stoner and can't focus on things? That's what he like wanted to kind of like pant or just throw it off on that. It's like, you're into metal bands and stuff. Okay. You probably
disclaimer. I smoke weed all day, every day. So what I just said may just be coming from that.
It's like, literally like he just threw me in a template kind of, and it was kind of annoying because how much
based on a few activities that you're just doing, like
and just talking to me for a while, and I still was like fully engaging, and even like at the very end of it, he was like, wow, I'm really impressed how much you know about yourself. I'm like, well, I mean, that's why I'm here. It's like I know my tendencies, I know my brain works, I just don't know why or how it could be improved. And that's basically what the whole conversation was around. But he still piss tested me like immediately. It was like wanted like me to pee in a thing right away. He's like wanted to know. I'm just like, all right, man.
You can be a filthy liar, dude, and then he can't diagnose you properly.
Exactly. Yeah, it was just kind of weird how obsessed he was with it, and how their whole like policy was revolved around it. Kind of like their like Joseph said, just kind of, I mean, basically like a blanket kind of thing. Just like, okay, well, it's probably this. If it's not this, then we'll talk.
It's so funny. You didn't mention any other drugs. That weed is the monkey wrench of the psyche.
Totally. I was like, oh, I keister meth every now and then, but I'm just kidding. But no, he didn't give a shit about any other drugs. He didn't bring up any other drugs. It's crazy.
Trip.
Yeah.
So now we're so far into the weeds. Where the fuck were we, dude?
How about Andrew? When did you first start jamming with other people?
There you go.
So I felt like when I entered 2017, I started having a desire to want to just like play over. I just wanted to like play over video game music. So I'm a big gamer, dude. Like like playing video games since I was a kid too.
Fuck yeah.
So I dabbled a little bit in doing some video game covers, which ended up actually leading me into doing session work for do you all know Rob Miramonte from the Zenith Passage?
Oh yeah.
Ex-Fallujah member Moljota. Yeah. So he asked me if I wanted to help him with just like a slammy death metal project thing. Just some easy 5 songs, like tons of breakdowns, and it gets like pretty like fast and heavy after a period of time. So that was actually my first time helping another band in a recording element. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, man. I think you're talking about when you got involved in session work. I meant back when you were like a teenager starting to get into.
We want to hear about some high school band.
Yeah, we want to take you way back.
Okay. Yeah, so I was in one other band for like 6 or 8 months before I joined Fallujah, and it was just one of those like bands where we took ourselves too seriously, and then we didn't take ourselves seriously enough. Like we joked about our band name was called Someone's Lullaby, and we were like a bluesy hardcore metal band. It was really, really weird. I did like maybe 2 shows with this band, and then the rest of the guys kind of just fell off and they made their own classic rock project on the side. So that was technically my first band I was ever in. But then I ran into Scott Carstairs at the time that I was in this band. He was in another band, I think his first band, and they were called All Is Vanity. So his nickname back in the day was Scott Vanity. It's such a trip, man. But he went to a neighboring high school, and I had a few friends at my school that I went with who were into metal too, and just trying to do some other like metal projects so they could start playing shows locally for fun. And I got introduced to him, and I even went to like one or two of his shows back then before Fallujah was even a thing. That's how I met Scott. And then my band broke off. I was just a drummer, not in a band. I was still like blast beats and practicing like every day after school and whatever, just to keep my chops going. And then my best friend Ian at the time actually invited me to, I think, Fallujah's second show. And this was at the time when Fallujah was just purely deathcore, just purely like deathcore band, super like politically driven. And I went to this show at the Colorblind Studios in Concord, California. And just I didn't connect the dots till later that Scott was actually the guitar player for the band. But we like hung out I got invited to a few practices and stuff, and we all hung out, and it was just us like joking about. And then I got invited to that show, watched them play. And actually, and this is a really funny story that I love to recall with Scott every now and then, just like how we met and how he realized like that I played drums the way I did. But there's a Guitar Center a block away from that venue. And we went early that day so they can grab guitar strings, and homie needed to get some sticks. And I was hanging out with them. So I was like, I'm going to play on the electric kit then and just kind of fuck around. And so this is like 3 PM. Like we're super early. And he sees me jamming on it. He comes walking up and he's like, yo, man, show me what you got, man. I was like, all right. And I hand him my headphones. And this was at the time when the Faceless's Ekodama album was like shooting up there for like prime technical death metal at the time, you know? So I tried pulling off the beginning of An Autopsy. You remember that song? Crazy blast. Yep. And then so I did all that. I did some blasting. I just kind of like went ham on the kit for a bit because there's like a really cool metal setting on the I think it was like the TM something, TM5s or whatever. But I remember like looking up at him as I'm like blasting on the ride and stuff and doing things. He was like, he's doing the whole like, yeah, you know, but as I started doing more, I think he was going from like, and then I kid you not, after a minute, he like handed me the headphones back and he's like, damn, that was pretty good, man. He just kind of like walked off. I think like pretty dumbfounded too.
It's one of those moments where he realized he needed to hit the fucking books again. Dude.
Yeah. That was such a funny moment because I remember exclusively just seeing him looking over me and just being all like that's sick, and then realizing like actually, damn, he's not fucking bad. Like he's legitimate. And so going maybe like about 8 months after that, or like I think it was like 8 or 9 months after that. So we got into like March, I think that next year or something, and Fallujah didn't have a drummer, and he was like frantically calling me to see if I wanted to try out for the band because they needed a drummer in time for a couple shows they had already booked up or something. So he sends me the 4 songs, and this was at the time when shout out to this dude, by the way, but I think it's Brent Stiletto. I haven't talked to this guy in a long time, but he later would end up playing for Rings of Saturn like about a couple years later. But he was filling in for Fallujah, but unfortunately he just wasn't cutting it for them. And Scott was like frantic. He's like, dude, I know you play really, really good drums. Would you be down to like try out and stuff? Like you're super, super sick. And like, I know you can knock these 4 songs out. And I was like, I got nothing else going on. Like, I'm not in a band. Like, just send them my way. We'll give them a shot. And I got down all 4 songs in like a week. And then I ended up going to his house, which was at the time, like just a few miles up the road from me, playing on another drum set. And then him and I jammed on the kit, and he just thought I was just so good at the songs. He's like, dude, if you want, you can be in Fallujah, man. You can just be the drummer. like I will literally get on the phone in like a minute and like call Brent and tell him he's done.
Yeah.
So he did. I love Brent to death, and he ended up still being like a really, really good friend of the band's. And we actually even toured, I think, once, like a few years later, like when Fallujah started becoming a bit more tour active. But that's how I actually got into Fallujah, was just those 4 songs. And then that like cascaded into doing a lot more local shows here after a while. I graduated high school in 2008, and I did my first like West Coast tour run, Fallujah's first tour ever, with Antagony. and that was a super cool time. And it just turned into more and more. And the Door Made of Light, and then eventually like Prison of the Mind and Hallucinations were like the next songs, and then boom, Harvest Wombs, and then from that point on, just everything just gradual upward trajectory. So
fuck yeah.
Sick.
Dude, I want to ask a little bit about that early era. So who else was in the band when you first joined?
Let's see. So we had a vocalist named Solomon. I haven't talked to him in a very long time. But he was doing vocals. Then Alex Hoffman was on guitar and doing like some side vocal stuff for us. Scott was in the band just doing guitar. I was on drums. And then we had it's been such a long time, but we had a guy named Brando on bass. I forgot his last name, but his nickname was Lord Midnight. I think he played in a band called Vivisection or something like that. It's a super, super long time ago. Some band from Petaluma. And ironically enough, honestly, I think this is one of the reasons why Fallujah has like a little bit of good luck to them, but we haven't had that many major lineup changes throughout Fallujah's history. So Solomon and Brandon had to leave the band, and we ended up getting Rob Baramonte and then Rob Morey on bass. And Alex decided to like he's like, I know Scott's like the better guitar player. I'm just gonna do vocals. Like I'm gonna be okay with this. I'll help with other things in the band or something like that. And then that was actually like the staple like lineup for a few years. So Scott and I, Rob Baramonte, Alex Hoffman, and then Robert Morey, and that stuck for a bit before we ended up getting Brian James to hop into guitar in place of Rob Baramonte leaving to do work with All Shall Perish. So
that's right.
So pretty cool. Pretty grateful.
Cool.
Yeah.
I actually saw you guys this is right after. So Decrepit, we've filmed a music video or something. And Ben from Whitechapel hit me up and was like, hey, we're playing San Francisco bottom, I don't know, the Parkside, right? Wasn't that you guys? Yeah. And I remember like, I was all hanging out with those guys. I don't know exactly what happened, but something was like, their tour manager came in and was like, said something like, Fallujah wants to like change some stuff around and blah blah. And I don't know, it was like this big kind of like there was like arguing going on at the show. I don't know what was going on, but it was something about like, and I never heard you guys before. I never heard the name before, but I was sitting in the Whitechapel, the backstage at the Parkside, and there was something like the manager came and was installed. Something about like this is just because I'm drinking, so I'm bringing it up. Something it was something about like, oh, whatever, like we're a real metal band. I don't want to be playing with these, something like that. And like I got back to Whitechapel when I was sitting with them. I was sitting with Ben, Alex, and Phil, and they're just like, what? Like what? We're just like hanging out. I forget what happened, but there was like some sort of like funny little drama going on. I have no idea, but I don't know why. I wish I had a better story with more details.
I wish you had all the details.
I kind of wish I knew more about this guy. I don't remember a thing. And Whitechapel's like some of our good friends now.
Totally. And then you guys I don't think you guys might have not been signed yet. I don't know. It was like 2011 or 2010, I think.
Okay.
And I think you guys were just up and coming, and I forget. Yeah, I have no idea. And Whitechapel, they're all such sweethearts. They were just all like, oh, like when because the manager came in and told them that, and then I was like, Jesus, like I've never even heard of these guys. They just like, no, I forget what happened. Something with set times or something with something. I don't know. It was some funny drama, but it was just, I don't know. I thought it'd be funny to bring it up.
That's funny. That is funny because I don't know, man. That just feels the 2000 to like the 2010 era. Already feels like eons ago now. And that's, when did you guys
start as a band? When's
2000? I met up. I want to say like 2007 was Fallujah's like trying to play their first few shows, but we consider ourselves like an actual band. I think by 2008, like tour ready and at least like an EP of some kind. So I usually say like 2008, and then because we're hitting 2021, we're hitting. Actually, this month of November, this year will be the Harvest Wombs 10-year anniversary.
Nice.
Which is really cool. I'm actually relearning how to play some of those Harvest Wombs songs again because I haven't touched them in like a long time. And I was like, oh my god, 20-year-old me was a freak of nature, and my wrists hurt now. My back.
Crazy, like all these like fucking like all these like anniversaries of albums. You're like, what the fuck? That was 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Like that's all
10
like
years
coming
ago,
up now.
15 years ago. I know.
Fascinates me about you guys and your instruments and stuff, and how long we've been doing this, and trying to revisit old songs that you hadn't played in a while, and actually like reteaching yourself. And for me, all I had to do is remember words. I could do an Odious set right now of all Cryptic and Devouring songs involved and totally be able to do it. But you guys have so much more to remember. I'm just remembering fucking words, you know, and how they're placed to the music. But you guys have to go off of actually what your body's doing. You know,
like, it's like
I have to remember how my arms sit comfortably in this spot. You know.
I was gonna say, yeah, like it's like you're getting reacquainted with memory, mind muscle connection, and muscle memory of those songs. Because now that I'm actually relearning the Harvest Wombs, and I'm 31 now, I'm like, oh my god, I remember that I had to do these specific patterns that are kind of ingrained in my head, but the muscle development's like different for me now because I've done like a bunch of CrossFit for the past like few years, and I was like a fitness freak for like 10, but now I'm older and my energy is different, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I actually was able to pull off some of these fills or this blasting section at like 250 BPMs for that long or something. Like nowadays, it's like I'm at a different part of my life where that doesn't feel very feasible for me anymore. Not to try and say like I can't do it, like it's too hard or something, you know, but like it's just that sometimes it's just like a pretty mentally daunting thing to think about, where you're like, I did this when I was at such a young and unique age in life, and then I'm here with like other like strengths, and this seems like completely off the branch for me now, or like getting reacquainted with it feels such a crazy measurement of strength and ingenuity or something like that, you know. So that's actually what I'm running into right now with the old album. I'm like, God, I played this fast for this long. I was one blasting section. Was that a fucking idiot, man? Oh my god, dude. like I love this, and I'm proud of young version me, but old version me ain't. It's not stoked anymore.
Would have done things probably a little differently.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? But
I used to play along to the Harvest Wombs on drums a lot, actually.
Okay. What were your favorite tracks? Do you remember any of them?
That was one of the ones where I definitely attempted all of them. The title track was good because it was like slower and it was like
the actual Harvest Wombs track, the black metal one. Yeah.
I definitely would just kind of start at the beginning and then just, you know, go with Alpha Incipient. Ritual of Godflesh was really fast double bass. Absolutely.
Yes.
Become One. That's like a kind of slightly slower. And like, I remember that being one that I could kind of do.
Okay.
But then it gets into some really fast shit in the middle of the album for sure. Tracks. Yeah. But man, dude, Eternal, what is it? Enslaved Eternal Phenomena?
Dude. That's the one I'm relearning right now. And I love that song. That one, dude, and Assemblage of Wolves were probably my two favorite songs from that album. And Alpha Incipient, just because it's just got that crazy build-up section at the very beginning of the song, and then it just goes right into China blasts and crazy hard strumming, and that was so sick, man. Good times.
Oh yeah,
good times.
Joseph's all muted. This is the best part ever.
Sorry.
We should put that on.
That's a great album, man. I was listening to all your albums in the car like I do, and just like, man, like, and I've heard it before and stuff, but like going back and like, man, this is like crazy. It's like really sick.
Which is so funny because at the time that Harvest Wombs dropped, I think you were still doing Decrepit Birth stuff, right? And So It Begins came out. What year did that album come out again? Do you remember?
Oh, and Time Begins was like 2003.
And Time Begins, yeah.
That was like early, yeah. But I was on the Polarity album, which was it released in 2011?
Oh, you were on Diminishing too.
You were on Diminishing.
Yeah, but that was the last one, like right before you guys put out Harvest, right? You know,
mm-hmm.
So it must have been like the same year that came out.
I think so, because I was gonna say we love the shit out of old Decrepit Birth, and I thought your drumming was like unreal. I watched I remember going back on YouTube when I was younger to always like I had a phase where I was just watching a bunch of like metal drummer just YouTube footage, like early YouTube day stuff, and I would actually watch yours. I forgot what show it was, but camera was positioned to your back.
Drummers.
I think it was Sick Drummer, or what was the Blastology?
The Key Club or the Key Club one, maybe.
Blastology, old Blastology videos or something like that. But your camera position was back left, and you look like you sat really low to the ground. And didn't you have like really long hair at the time too?
Yeah, oh for sure.
Also, why
some locks?
Why the fuck why'd you cut it, man? What the fuck? Just
had some luscious locks for sure.
When I saw your picture on Facebook, just like the other week ago, I was like, man. Okay, I get it. I get why you cut the long hair, but man, I was like, I don't know. I just like your long hair. You just look so cool, like doing your blasting,
man.
and
the extent of odious theatrics was putting fans in front.
Yeah, I just had like a big
odious fan. Yeah, I'll just be up here.
I got that from Eric Rutan. You know.
Oh my god,
But I was just like playing, and it was kind of because it keeps it out of your face too. So you're
thank God, yeah, because you're not, dude. When I had like even like a stint of like longer hair than this when I was younger, I'll play something and any break just like because I had a split down the middle, and, just, and then I started wearing beanie visors, and I was like, all right, game over, bitches.
Beanie visors, awesome,
dude.
I remember going to the Harvest Wombs CD release show, which I think was at like kind of like a practice space type venue. And I showed up a little late. It was in like Walnut Creek area or somewhere out there.
Yeah. Red House. Yeah. The Red House in Walnut Creek.
Oh, the Red House.
Yeah.
I love the Red House.
The place
I loved it. It's gone.
That was literally our hometown venue because I'm just 9 miles down the road from there.
Oh, nice.
That was, man, we were all like in that vicinity just south of the Red House. So anytime a Red House show came up that we were going to play, it was always like, yes, like we know, like a ton of people are going to come out every time, and we're near like our favorite places to eat. Like Red House was just such a cool spot. But yeah, it was a practice space too, and you could technically record there as well, I think, or something like that. You could do lessons, but they unfortunately had to pack it up. Right? Yeah.
I heard about that. They had actually. I remember I saw like maybe 2 shows there, and I remember like the sound was fucking good. I remember
it's not bad. It was
I remember
really not bad.
For a random venue. I'm like, what a Walnut Creek for a show. I think I was living in Sacramento at the time. And went to a fucking Red House show. I'm like, never heard of this venue. I'll check it out. And was like, heard everything perfectly. It was fucking packed. Like it was like an underground death metal show. I forget what fucking show it was. I think Archaic maybe. I have no idea. But
I would be surprised, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking great though, man. I was actually really looking forward to. They closed during the pandemic, or
I think it was right before the pandemic or something like that. Yeah.
It was the beginning of the sad closure posts that you would see during the pandemic. Just like, Sims is gone. Well, all these places just going under. It was one of the tougher ones to hit.
Yeah, and I remember wanting to like meet you guys at the show, but like when I got to the door, like no one was like at the door to have me
stamp
pay for a ticket or whatever.
Did you just walk?
So I just like fucking walked in. I was like, for a little while, I was gonna like try to find who to pay, and then I realized like, if I don't do that, then I'm here for free or whatever.
Then you're here for free, and you don't gotta pay no. What was the expensive door?
It was probably $10.
$10,
yeah.
$12 maybe.
But then I'm also like,
I buy a shirt. Then you gotta buy a shirt.
Buy any merch? Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it to the bands. Don't give it to the club, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Good times, man.
I should have bought a shirt. I ended up getting a shirt.
Joseph's admitting he didn't buy shit that whole night.
I bought a shirt at the when you guys played the Atrium. I got an assemblage of Wolves shirt, and I still have it. Actually, it's a cutoff now, so
that's cut off now.
Sick,
dude. A lot of Fallujah like Harvest Wombs merchandise is
tattered.
Tattered, but if you have a decently good condition shirt or a vinyl or something like that, it's probably worth a few good smackaronis, man. Probably a couple $100 now because it's aged. Like we're at the 10-year mark now, so it's like been aging properly. Yeah.
I didn't realize it was already nostalgia market or like kind of secondhand.
I think so. I think so for sure. Yeah.
Era.
Yeah. Well, I was talking on the Copper Crab when I did the Copper Crab podcast about how people will put like there's I forget who it was. One of my like hardcore death metal friends like bought a Immolation shirt and they're like, yeah, I got it for $500. I'm like, what the fuck? You bought a shirt for $500? But like, there's these shirts out there that people will like, if it's like old enough and it's like only it was like one printing was done. There's people out there that'll just throw money at this shit and just buy these shirts. Like even Odious shirts. I saw an Odious one like one of the first devouring ones we had. It was on like eBay for like $200. So I was like,
it's pretty mind blowing.
I have like 3-4 in my fucking closet.
I have some in my garage right now, dude. I
got $600 in my closet, dude. Fuck yeah. But no, that's crazy. That's like an actual, it's like a collector's, market of like these underground death metal shirts,
Mm-hmm. I was gonna do a shout out right now real quick to Joe Potenti. He's got a place in where's the fucking, I wanted to pull it up hella quick, but so merch manager, see, I'm MENAGERIE Menagerie. Okay, merch menagerie.
Yeah,
that is somewhere in fucking California, dude.
So what is it? What is the purpose of it?
It's vintage fucking toys and shit like that. Where all the shirts that he has on the wall are all like, vintage, rare fucking finds, and he I was just trying to tie that into that it's enough to where this dude's got a storefront.
It's in Fremont.
All that type of shit.
It's in Fremont?
So there's definitely
Fremont.
No, he's from Hayward, but it's not fucking
whatever. It's in that area.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm looking at it right now.
He has an actual store you can walk into.
Actual store you can walk into, dude.
Oh,
and he's got fucking random toys and collector items and band shirts and shit like that.
There's also
Go ahead.
In Vegas, there's also, is it like Metal Blade? Like has like a store in like, yeah, you heard about that. Yeah, I tried to stop by when I was in Vegas. I didn't make it. Yeah. But it's like in a little like antique shopping mall. There's just like a Metal Blade like antique store.
Yeah, just like Metal Blade vinyl and fucking rare, more rare, more on the rare side Metal Blade items, but obviously they still had them.
Yeah.
If it's Metal Blade's running it, they're like, here's some of our more rare items, which sounds like just the shit that's like the least amount of inventory that they got at the warehouse.
Yeah, it's rare because it's left over and no one will buy it.
We can only hope, dude, that all our smalls and triple XLs will get sold in 20 years.
But I guess if you got like 3 rare Cannibal Corpse vinyls left in your warehouse and you realize on Discogs they're going for like $75 each, they're like, fuck that, dude. I'm not going to sell them for the face value. We'll open up a fucking Metal Blade retro store or rare store. Yeah. Get the 75 each.
Whenever I buy a shirt, I kind of hope like I justify it by saying, oh, it'll be worth $125 in 10 years or something.
15 years. I mean, when I'm 70.
Yeah. Then you tear the holes in the armpits and then the stains are there always. And then you're like, fuck, dude, who's going to buy this now? But they still fucking do, I guess.
I justify it as like, whatever, I bought that shirt. That'll be a good rag in like 10 years. Something like that.
Well, I said Bryce has worked some of my old band shirts into like tank tops and shit and sold them, and chicks buy that.
Yeah, I've been seeing some girls doing that where they actually make like really cool. They'll take like, because I mean sometimes like a band will only have like an XL or something, and they're like a small or something, and they'll take it and they'll tatter the back or something and make it actually like there's some
cool
people out there
looking like designed dress out of like the t-shirt if it's big enough or something. Yeah,
exactly.
I thought that was like really creative. Yeah,
that's cool. I wish there was something like that for I guess there is for guys. I mean, there's like I bought like a double or triple XL one time, and I was trying to like slim it down by like cutting. I failed miserably at it, and realized like I need a sewing machine. I need like all these things. It's not just going to be like some quick fix. Like, you know what I mean? Even just like, I was going to PsychoFest this year, and I was like, I had a couple shirts that were too big for me, and I was like, I need to make some tank tops because it's going to be a fucking 110 degrees out there in Vegas. So I was like, might as well just like watch a YouTube video on how to turn it into a fucking tank top, and I just failed.
And you
like,
hacked it so hard,
like so bad. I literally had to get like, how I did it was I literally got like a de-threader, and I just took off the sleeves. It was like with threads, and that's like as best as I could do. Like, there's some people that like cut these shirts, and I'm like, how the fuck? Like
so
my cut
made sleeveless.
Yeah, but my cuts were just, I wanted to like cut it like right up here though, not like at the sleeve, you know. And I just failed. I'm just not, I can't cut stuff. I can't draw. I can't like in fucking the old like projects.
No, man, you play. No, you can't do anything, man. You play in death metal. That's what you're doing here.
I could just carve on walls because I'm a fucking caveman.
Yeah, anyone can do that.
Well, yeah, man. So Harvest Wombs era, you guys move into doing Nomadic, which is, for me, that's the fucking gem, dude. That's the one.
Okay. I'm glad you like those, man. Yeah.
The two songs, the two death metal songs on that are the best two tech death songs.
We were calling Nomadic like the Bridging the Gap EP, because with Harvest Wombs, we were like right on the cusp of like sounding the way we wanted to sound. And just having those two Nomadic songs alone, not just for live purpose sake, for like a couple extra songs that sounded really cool, and they're at that time our most modern version of us kind of thing, you know. But that's what helped us bridge the gap into making both Flesh Prevails and then eventually the Dreamless album. We wanted to embrace the you know, the synthesizers and like the ambient elements that you know, maybe some other bands out there were trying to do the same, but maybe it wasn't as impactful or tasteful or as they would have hoped for, you know. I miss playing Venom Upon the Blade and the Dead Sea, and I'm going to see if I can't like try to relearn those at some point too, because those were super just like, they were just awe-inspiring songs. Like, I mean, I even remember bringing those songs with us to Europe to play. The second time that we went to Europe, we were actually supporting Dying Fetus and Goat Whore and Malevolence, and we played those songs on that tour, and people they like blew their minds. And I remember like I know why I don't know, just you ever those revelations where you're like, I like this feels right. Like, I'm glad we're doing this. Like, this feels good to play these songs or something, you know?
Yeah, these are thoughts as you're playing.
Yeah, as I'm playing. I was this feels right now.
Dude. Yeah. That we've talked about that before. It's when you know that you've all connected on this one little thing. You're all like one unit, and it's all working, and it all just feels so right, and it's just the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the heroine of us, dude. That's what we chase the whole fucking time we're doing.
That's the weed smoking that your doctor's asking about moment of the whole band, right?
That's like that high we're fucking chasing, dude. It is, because when you're there, it's like or is it like, you know, it's just like a surfer on a wave, like catching the perfect wave. You don't really,
everything's flowing, just flows really well. Yeah. You're not struggling anymore, you know? Yeah.
Shaka, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the drum, the orchestration of the drums on those songs were really, really interesting to me. And I don't know, I think you guys just really took it up a notch. And there's a question here from Brent Eastwood. He said, I just wonder how they managed to incorporate ambient / soundtracks type motifs into their music so well. A lot of their bands try it, and it usually ends up cheesy, but Fallujah does it so well.
That's just might be a good segue into getting Scott Carthers on your podcast for that one. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Into Scott. All right.
Yeah. Like, man, I know when we were making, so bands take influences from like everything they're really into, you know, culture of some sorts, gaming, books, movies for sure is a big one. Or maybe specific moments while under some sort of usage, you know.
Yep.
But I know
substance of sorts.
Something, you know. But I know that when we were making Nomadic, I know that we're a bunch of like Scott and I for sure, and do part like Rob Maramonti at the time. And Alex, but we loved Halo. So
nice.
A few songs growing up, and the from that EP and the albums after, we wrote around moments we saw in like the Halo games, specific movies. So Blade Runner is obviously like a really big one. Lord of the Rings was enormous for our band, and we felt like, as far as like a writing process goes with the ambient elements, we love those moments in the movies where there's tons of like epic panning landscape shots and the music to back it up, sort of thing. And that's kind of, I think, a key element to how Fallujah wrote a lot of our material, even into today, is trying to envision our music sort of like that. And again, if you get Scott Carstairs on the podcast, I know he'll give you probably some much better detail on that sort of like writing technique or sense of imagination, really, you know. But that's kind of where we got our influences from. We're just like Blade Runner, and then Hans Zimmer like soundtracks and orchestral pieces, like stuff from gaming, of course. And we like, even though there were a lot of like really, really awesome, prominent metal bands back then at the time that we were making all this music, I know we tried not to like take too many bits and pieces from these bands, and then to try and avoid the whole like, you sound like this band or you sound like that. I don't think any band's ever really going to avoid that or dodge that, but I know we tried to get our resources from other places and then see if we couldn't throw it into something, but then, I know Casey's not here at the moment, but we still like, even at that moment in time too, we still listen to the shit out of Necrophagist and Decrepit Birth and Dying Fetus and Faceless. And so it makes sense that people at that time too made connections to us sounding like those related bands.
So
no one knows. Like we like
2008 was when you graduated.
Yeah, 2008.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's like right. Cryptic came out in 2007. Servile 2008, and I was super into the shit that was coming out when I was a senior in high school. Mm-hmm. I was balls deep as a senior in high school.
I definitely hear the like the influence in Fallujah, like because I go through these periods where I listen to a bunch of soundtracks and movies and stuff like that. And the kind of like it brings like emotion just from, it's very mellow, but it starts getting you all pumped up or sad, or like it really like to mix that into death metal is like such a cool move. Like if you can do it, if you can execute it correctly, like you guys have done, it does like your stuff's very moody. It's not very, like most death metal bands are like, okay, whatever, like all the time, like crazy,
speed, fast, heavy, death,
exactly,
all consuming. Yeah,
exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with any of that at all. But I think I'm picking up what you're trying to say, where like the music was very complementary to the ambient elements in a way that it felt like it was not just emotionally charged, but it had a
story to
tell. I always said like our music, like with the ambient elements and stuff, gave the metal some body, like made it sound a lot more full. Because now we have other more defining aspects that just made the music just flat out sound really beautiful. Like not just like a measure of just being heavy, but it's like, dude, this is actually like a good sounding song because there's like a direction that you get out of this. Like it makes you feel a certain way too. And clearly it's fast and super like forward charging, but I think
that comes in as like a compliment to everything else. That's not just like, that's not the main thing you guys are going for. You guys are going for like a journey of like, ups and downs and brutal. And I definitely like I just drove to a guitar showcase before the podcast and back from Santa Cruz and listened to nonstop Fallujah just to kind of it's been
get reacquainted.
Yeah. It's been about a year or something since I've like gone through a Fallujah phase, and I was like, fuck, like it was just basically, it was a journey going, Highway 17 going to Santa Cruz. Like it's a kind of a journey, dude. It's like a kind of a scary highway and people are driving like crazy. It's rush hour. And it was actually kind of like a perfect kind of mix of just like listening to Fallujah's like ups and downs and brutal and everything, like with the fucking banana shit I was dealing with the drivers on fucking Highway 17. Like I'm trying to like basically stay alive. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? It was fucking actually going through the hills and stuff like that. It was fucking just had a really cool visual to the audio landscape you guys were bringing. I was like kind of getting the chills a couple times. I was like, fuck, this is like I said, with the soundtrack, it's painting something for me that I'm like,
a story is like kind of being told to you, right?
Yeah. If I could read a story, I would fucking. I'm just kidding. But no, I definitely like it's definitely unique, man. It's definitely been, one of those bands that takes you. It's not just like I said earlier. It's not just going to be brutality. It's going to take you on a journey, and I can't wait to. I mean, I guess we can maybe segue into this. Like, what are you guys working on right now?
We're on to the mixing and the mastering part of album 5 right now. Actually,
nice.
I think I recorded drums. Yeah, I'd say about a month ago. This will be our third album that we recorded with Mark Lewis, ex Audio Hammer,
Austin.
And we're just really excited because with COVID happening and more time in isolation, we're not touring, kind of gave us this whole like it definitely gave Scott for sure like a major sense of inspiration to be like, dude, I want to come back after like this isolation and definitely from the last album too, and come back with some like ferociously good material. Not so much as like a return to older styles of like Fallujah, but a better, well-suited blend. And we're just really excited. We I don't know, Scott, when I hung out with Scott and Mark for that week that I was recording the drums, I was just like, man, I'm just like ready for like a brand new batch of just new songs. And we were even like, man, we want to play like our sets next year, because we are going to tour next year at some point. We're just like, man, we want to play like mostly new songs like on our next like first few tours. And I think these songs we made are going to be astounding, and definitely some of the most like bogusly just stupid good drums I think I've recorded like ever. Like I don't even. It's just crazy, man. We're really excited. It's gonna be really, really cool. We're gonna have like some special guests on there for some solo stuff too, and it's been a long time coming. We took extra time to write this album too. No rushed processes whatsoever, and thankfully time was on our side because of COVID and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going through mixing and mastering right now, and yeah, Scott's like the writing mastermind behind all Fallujah material right now. So when an album is being written, it's basically him like writing not all of it, but nearly everything for well over a year. So we're at that whole like, dude, you're like almost pretty much done. There's just like things that are out of your control that people have to do for you. So now it's just kind of like a waiting game, and then we can kind of go from there. But yeah, you can definitely expect an album 5 from us next year, like for sure.
Fuck yeah. Awesome, man. And shout out to Scott Carstairs podcast. I've been watching, or as live Twitch streaming. I've actually been tuning in and watching. It's actually fucking fun to watch. Like I usually don't watch
Twitch.
I downloaded Twitch for a friend, and then Scott's another one that I watch every now and then that's about it. That's like basically I downloaded it for a Between the Baird and Me live thing during COVID. They do Twitch.
Shout out to Max from Anomalous.
Yeah.
No, actually,
Max was the reason why I signed up to Twitch.
Totally. Okay. No, Max was on our podcast, and then the next day he did Scott Carstairs, and I watched that, and it was like, dude, I'm like fully entertained with like his full like how he jams to things, and like we'll randomly like, you know, just fields questions and stuff. It's like actually a really cool fucking podcast, man. Or a Twitch or whatever you call it.
Stream.
Stream. Well, speaking of stream, podcast, it is a fucking vlog. Is it a fucking? Dude. I don't know.
This is where, and I because I'm part of like, so I've been on Twitch. I've been streaming on Twitch actually for about a year and a half now, and there's definitely a period of time like pre-COVID where like musicians were established on the platform, kind of already using it to their advantage and making their own content and stuff. And then when COVID happened, a lot of musicians actually went to Twitch, the Twitch platform, to continue to forward press like their material and play songs from their bands, and then like play over other bands and just staying busy. Exactly. Yeah. And it's a lot more intimate way of like hanging out and watching some of your favorite musicians on the platform, you know, or even sometimes seeing full bands having their own band Twitch channel and performing like whole sets live for you or something like that. So Twitch is insane, and it's really cool. And it's been like, it's just been a blessing, like honestly, a blessing in disguise for
it's a trip to me
Scott
to think about just our adaptation as a species. You know, something like that happens, we have to move to the internet, and but we have such a thirst to like interact with other humans that
to absorb
can continue figuring out how we can do it through the means that's available at the time. It's just your fucking computer in front of you, you know? So the interaction and how that's evolved over the last couple of years or so, you know, it actually is tripping me out a little bit in a good way. Like no matter what, we're going to figure out a way to stay connected, you know?
People want accessibility, man. People want the accessibility. And it's interesting to people out there to see what their favorite artist or their favorite athlete or something, what their behind the scenes are like, how they are, in a more personal or intimate environment, and that can actually do wonders for a band's progression, like in the industry or whatever it is that the band's trying to do, Good to hear that you're on Twitch, because there's like way more homies on there than you might realize.
Should we do this on Twitch simultaneously? Is that a thing we could do?
That's kind of why I asked Casey Howard. I was like, are you going to be live streaming this? Because it might be another next level step for the podcast. Honestly,
I mean, we have dabbled in live.
Twitch?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if that's a medium that we should be.
No, we can.
Eventually,
once we get the live thing going, we can stream on multiple platforms at once.
You can do that. Exactly.
Do like Facebook.
Yeah, we've dabbled
YouTube
with live stuff.
We're gonna do it. We like tried live a few times, but we need to like figure it out, and kind of like we've been kind of just focusing more just on doing episodes and kind of doing our own thing and like writing. Well, we'll talk about that later. Anyways, doing other things musically, and so like, but we maybe in this next year we'll figure all that out. We gotta.
You should. I think it'd be good. Honestly, like because there was a lot of time on people's hands when COVID like just started and we were all staying inside. I actually took a Stream Coaches Academy program back in like March, April of 2020, and your approach you're doing right now, where you're doing episodes on YouTube, can help to push the potentiality of a Twitch channel you may have in the future, because you are going to have two different locations of feasible content for people to look into. Like, you've already got a YouTube channel, right? With tons of content and videos and stuff. That's going to probably be great. In like the long run, when you make a Twitch channel and you stream live and you do live podcast session or live episode, yada yada, with so and so from this band or this agency or this business or whoever, so taking this approach where you're doing YouTube videos first is still very, very good.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, we try and avoid the editing as much as possible. We really don't do it, so it's like,
keep it authentic.
It could be live anyways, it's like
yeah,
we're not having a fucking. Sorry.
Even though, no, it's cool, man. Even though it's been a year, like I still feel like we're kind of infant. Like we're only at episode 56. It's like
it's still a lot, man. It's still a lot of episodes.
No, it's awesome. No, we're super into it. But yeah, it's like a lot of people, like I feel like, they have like hundreds of episodes and stuff, and it's like so. But I guess ours were longer. I don't know. Whatever. It's just I guess we're ready to. Yeah. I guess it's time for just try new stuff, man. I mean, I'm super happy doing this, and we all love it. We love having people like you on, and just
it's fun. I was gonna say I checked out the YouTube channel probably a week and a half ago, and I tuned into the Tim Young episode that you had, dude. Because I toured with them technically once for Summer Slaughter 2014, when he was filling in for Morbid Angel. Tim's a cool guy. Really, really cool drummer.
Super cool, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I had so much fun in that episode, dude. Yeah. Shout out Tim. Get your bingo cards out. Shout out Tim, previous guest.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, so that bingo thing that someone made is so funny, dude.
Oh yeah, dude, that made me laugh so hard, dude. And I have no idea who made it, but it just makes me
Joseph,
feel
can
good
you share that?
Yeah, hold that up for anybody else.
Who made that?
Finding it.
So
I'll grab it.
I have no idea, dude. I mean, I'll say that I was being like, I was snooping around to see if there's any like hype on the podcast. If you just Google Cali Death Podcast, because I don't really do that shit. But I was like, you know what? Let's see if anybody's talking about it, whatever. And fucking, I'm scrolling down and I see this image of this, dude. And I was like, whoa, wait, what?
Someone made this. This is not us who made this.
Okay.
So
obviously a listener, dude, because they know some deep cuts, dude.
It's so good. Look at this Bingo Baker. What is this, like a site where you make bingo cards?
Yeah, I guess.
Hilarious, dude. Yeah.
So we've already had orally imitating drum noises tonight already. We've already had a shout out to previous guests.
We've already, and I saw a White Claw. I think Anthony just opened one.
I probably forgot something. I am smoking weed.
We've already done tour stories. Random tangent. Oh, that's like the whole thing.
We've avoided Bungle, thank God. And David
Obscure
Lynch,
science or philosophical reference that could have been in the earlier stuff when we were talking about the.
Yeah.
So
exuberant praise of guest is my favorite.
Oh yeah, that's super funny.
Favorite circle or square for sure.
For the audio listeners,
we're
check
so
out the
guilty
YouTube
of
video
that.
for this. And if you need to search it, how do you find it? You just Google?
I don't know, dude. I just Googled Cali Death.
Well, Joseph
podcast
just
and it
did.
just
So
came up.
what did you do, Joseph, to find it?
Just
all you got to do is
Cali
take a
Death
picture of the
podcast
right now.
bingo. Yeah, Cali Death
Whip
podcast
out-
bingo.
Wait, what? Who's
Yeah,
talking?
do that.
Cali
Cali
Death
Death-
podcast bingo.
Oh, got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, either that or I was just going to say whip out your phone and fucking take a picture of your TV. Right
Or make
now.
your own bingo and share it with us. I want to see all the bingo.
Make your own.
Dude, that was so funny. Whoever
Yeah.
made that is so.
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
also
shout out.
Casey.
You can play bingo
Yeah.
too.
It's all Casey silently nods for 30 minutes, like plus whatever. I was like, shit, I better chime in like every like so.
yeah,
often.
but I Anthony mispronounces something. I do that all the
Yeah,
fucking time. I literally thought about saying, "Hey, is your name Tim Smollins or Smollins?" That was like 10 seconds into the episode.
Well, it was funny because we were talking about it like a stratosphere, but we always called it a stratosphere, but I realized it's a stratosphere. And like,
Oh my god.
stratosphere, strad. And so, like, we were just like, nah, it's the stratosphere. Sorry. Like, we've known you guys.
Stratosphere.
Sorry.
Stratosphere.
I mean, Andrew said, how did you said necrophagus? There's necrophagist and necrophagist. There's like
Necrophagist.
I've heard some people say,
Necrophagist. Yeah, I grew up saying necrophagist.
that's the way you say it. That's the way I talk because I toured with them. That's the way you're supposed to say it. It was necrophagist.
When I was
like, growing up.
extra
Necrophagist.
newbie, young wee lad metal whippersnapper, I thought it was necrophagist, necrophagist. Or
Oh,
something
I've
like
heard that
so.
one too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't it necrophagia? Like, it wouldn't be necrophagia.
No, it's necrophagist.
It may be
But I mean, like the word
necrophagia, though.
phagia, right, or something? Isn't
Oh,
it like,
yeah, and that's the way
You know what I
Muhammad
mean?
said.
Like-
He's all, I don't care, but it's necrophagist. But but that also could be the German dialect with them. You have no idea.
necrophagist is the best.
Necrophagist just sounds, I don't know, maybe because that's the first way I said it as a kid.
Dude,
It's just,
Mhm.
just
I had
sounds-
this
it's just
old
pleasing to
friend-
the ears.
I had this old friend who, like, I don't know if he like purposely like mispronounced stuff all the time, but it was like early 2000s. He's like, "Hey, you should go to LA, dude. Origin is playing."
Origin, dude.
I'm like, dude, come on, man. Like, it's Origin, bro. Like,
Origin.
Origin. Like,
Origin. That's a first.
I recently just did the
good.
Kinda
that
sick.
Nothing's for Not podcast thing on
Hell
a
yeah.
weekend kind of recently, and I was talking about when I was a kid. I literally thought it was fucking male violent creation.
Oh
Not
my
malevolent. I was like, just saw a male.
Nothing, nothing's for no one.
Nothing's for
I think
no
you
one.
just butchered their name. It's nothing's for no one. Yeah.
Fuck. See,
So I was trying to like voice text these dudes like about the podcast, and I was like, yeah, he's in Hate Eternal. Like, we're talking about Chasen, like he played in Hate Eternal, and it just like it just comes out as like Haiti
Male violent
turtle.
Haiti turtle.
Like Haiti, like a turtle from Haiti, Haiti turtle. So that's
Oh my god.
God, we could have used that on tour. With
I bet
them.
there are turtles in Haiti, right? I think so. They like.
I'm
the
pretty
sea
sure
turtles.
this
They
gotta
like-
be.
Yeah.
This gotta be.
It's gotta
Yeah.
be over there. Yeah.
It's tropical.
the Haiti
tropical,
turtles, dude.
Waters there.
And they probably swim to Florida too. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. Anyways,
So I wanted to ask Andrew about what you're streaming these days. Are you streaming drums? Are you streaming?
It's like I'm doing like a mixture of things right now. The terminology a lot of people use on Twitch is they call themselves variety streamers, and so my schedule's been a bit scattered lately because I've just been having so many things like take place in my life. But I'll typically do a drum stream of sorts once a week, like most cases on Tuesdays, and then I'll have like a just gaming like Twitch stream. Like just I call it cozy hours or nomadic hours, just to play like a solo game or something. And I've been veering more into doing like community gaming with we call it community the Caldera. So community nights with like the Caldera. So I'll play like anything from like Apex Legends with a few friends to like some Splitgate. We have Halo Infinite is dropping on December 8th, and you'll be able to play like big team battle with like 8 people, and that will be like a major community game for the channel. So I'll be able to play with like a lot more people at the same time and just be more interactive that way. But I'll typically do like one drum stream a week. I'll do one game stream a week, and then kind of like a blend of the two, like a big longer stream, 6 or 7 hours even. First couple hours is like, hey, I'm just gonna play some metal songs I know and rip some drums, and then take a breather for a sec, and then I'm just gonna move into some games and just talk to the homies and stuff. So I'll do that, and then I will have these mental health discussions on my channel now too. Cool. I've been kind of doing them since I started, and every topic's kind of been jumping between, hey, life, like how to, this next one's going to be about grief and depression, grief and loss sort of thing. At some point, we all end up going through this, or something involving ADD, or family dynamics versus your own expectations, like just like deep thought sort of discussionary things. And sometimes I'll have a couple guests on that are within my community, or some other neighboring streamers who want to collab on this sort of thing. And we'll keep it safe, because we don't want to anyone feel like they're experiencing trauma from talking about such heavy subjects. So I'm very I forgot what's the word called. I like to consider myself a mental health advocate, because one of the first things of me getting into metal, obviously, like I told you, was I lost a mother figure. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of born into a later generation of my family, so I don't have my grandparents anymore. I don't have a lot of aunts and uncles anymore. And then I'm also neurodivergent. I also had to battle cancer back in 2012.
I was going to ask you, about that battle. I mean, that was, obviously the elephant in the room, and that stuff basically we all heard about on the news, or the metal news and stuff, about how your struggle going through that, and basically how you came, and now you're like fucking Mr. Buff, like sexy guy. And like,
listen, I loved Hamburger Helper when I was done. Okay. Hamburger Helper is my favorite. All right. Listen, I eat a lot.
Can we get into that a little bit? Like, So what year did you get the diagnosis?
So I'll try and give you a little bit of a shorter story, because the long one's very, very, it's not like heavy, but it's a lengthy one about the entire thing. And I'm going to change the music in my headphones for this and not listen to Rippin' Surreption, so I can get a little in the mood.
Oh, shit.
Put some Hans Zimmer on.
I got a little music in my headphones right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
I do that too sometimes. Yeah,
it's cool. It's cool to calm the nerves. So in 2011, I started noticing at the time that I was in 2011, I was like, we were touring a lot more in Fallujah. I was like kind of going through some college at the time, and doing like I was in Krav Maga or something like that for like 3 or 4 years. And I remember one day, this was in September of 2011, I was about to go leave for Krav Maga one night. And I just immediately started getting like a throbbing sensation around my groin, specifically on my left testicle. And it kind of debilitated me. So I ended up not going to class and just like sitting on the couch and like icing my nuts pretty much, like, oh man. And I thought it was a fitness injury that I got from a previous Krav Maga session where I basically got soccer punched in the nuts. And it was the day I didn't wear a cup either. My dumb ass, but so I thought it was something like that. But as the months went on, my testicles started growing in size, and it was a mass. Like, it was a very solid.
Dealing with pain during those months.
So too? that was kind of what was scaring me, was I had no pain after that throbbing episode. And I was still like going to college. I did a few shows with Fallujah, just being myself and stuff, and still into fitness. And I even went on tour with it too. It didn't go away for any reason whatsoever. I just, for some reason, had a larger testicle than my right one, and no pain, no discomfort since then, albeit like it was more to pack into my groin protector for training.
Your cup.
Yeah, my cup. So enough was enough. I came back from a tour with Fallujah and Aegeon. I fucking love that band so much. And I still had it. This was January. And I was like, this is like absolutely ridiculous. Like, something's up. I just got like brand new health insurance at the time. And I was going to Kaiser in Walnut Creek. So I just took a chance and was like, I just need to like suck my pride up, or my ego in this case, and just see a doctor, because everything else about me felt great. Like, I was really healthy and I felt fit, and loads of energy, and I'm touring, like just life felt good at that time. And I went to the doctor's, got a checkup. The doctor was like, it's pretty large, man. Like, let's go. I forgot the device. What's that device called where they put it in your ear and they check the inside of your ear with the light on and stuff?
A stethoscope? No. It's
something.
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
But his trick was he wrapped a bag around it, like a see-through Ziploc bag, shine the light through, and he's like, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shine this device underneath the testicle. And the goal is, if light shines through, it's probably an injury and hopefully some loose liquids that we could just clear you right up with, like some shots and some fluids and some antibiotics. No big deal. He's like, if the light does not shine through, though, that might be some cause for concern.
A mass or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So he did that, and no light shine through the other side. Yeah. So got taken downstairs, had some x-rays taken of me, sent me home. And I then, on my way home, actually, I got a call from my, at that time, my new urologist saying, I have some form of testicular cancer of some kind. And I couldn't fathom the news, like, at all.
That's actually kind of one of the questions I want to ask. Like, how does a human brain take that kind of, because obviously none of us have had to deal with that.
How does the human driving too?
Yeah. How do you what's your first reaction? How's your body? How's your mind react? How's it all go down?
I was like, shock is a word for sure. But I couldn't speak because I was just thinking of the word cancer, just like in my head. Cause I know, at the time I had another close relative of mine who had it. They've been going through ovarian cancer, and I've seen what it does to them. So just the word cancer alone was like, oh no! Like, from that, like the knowledge of the word cancer in your head rolling through your mind, like, I think just in that moment changed like perspective on life. And I don't want to sound like cliche or phony or like this is a little weird or something like that. But like at that moment in time when they told me I have, and they even said like, you're potentially a stage 2 testicular cancer.
The first call you got, they said that.
They're like, we don't have any good news, really. We're unfortunately sorry to tell you, but we know you have testicular cancer, and we believe it might be stage 2 testicular cancer.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, one of the things was like the denial. Was there any denial going because I'm young, I'm doing this, blah blah.
There healthy. Was, yeah. So those reasons for sure. I was like, and this is my unaffiliated, uneducated mind coming in and saying, and this, this is really damaging and harmful of me to say now, but I was like, isn't cancer for people who are just like not healthy, like who don't take care of themselves or something like that?
Like,
and again,
doing everything right.
Again, the wrong things to be saying now that I've done so much information and self introspection about these sorts of things. But at the time, I was like, why am I the one? Why do I have to have cancer? Like, I thought I was doing pretty well. Like I feel great, like, and I didn't even notice too, besides just the obvious larger than normal size, like testicle, So, I remember getting out of my car, like in the driveway, and my dad was just on the couch watching the game. And I like walked in still like really dumbfounded. And then, I just turned to him. I was like, Dad, I don't know how else to tell you this, but I got cancer. And he turned he hit the mute button on the remote for a bit, and he's just like staring just plainly into the wall. And he's like, "Are you sure about this?" And I was like, "I would never," and I started shedding a tear. Like, I would never I would never joke about something like that ever. So that day, from that point on, was pretty life altering. Like I definitely, like, that same night I called my sister, I called Scott, I called Alex too, Alex Hoffman, and like a couple close friends. And I was just like, I don't really know how to explain to you other than that I just found that I have cancer, and it didn't, is one of those things where like in the moment you're like, what the fuck? Like, are you, how, you know? And then a day or two later, then you start getting the emotional whiplash. And I definitely cried like the next day for sure, wondering like the whole woe is me thing. And like, why am I the one to have to get this? And like, what's going to happen? Like, what's going to happen to like, my life's going to change. Like, am I going to be able to do anything I'm doing right now? Being a musician, being in Fallujah, getting the opportunity to try and tour from here on out and make this musician lifestyle like work for me, you know?
So how long was it until you knew what the next step was? How long were you sitting at home waiting for somebody to call you or some shit?
So they were thankfully acting fast, like really fast. I think I got diagnosed, and then not even 2 days later, I had a scheduled surgery booked, like just flat out. My urologist was like, you've been sitting on this for a little while now, which is why we are suspecting until we have results later, stage 2. So we want to start right away and at least get the source of the problem out of you. So I had a surgery to remove the testicle, obviously, and it wasn't even, it was actually a really easy surgery and it was only an hour long. And I didn't have pain for longer than like a day, pretty much. So, and everything functions down there just fine still. But they thankfully took care of that. But then the bigger challenges ahead were the chemotherapy that I had to go through. And because I was a young dude, like super fit as I was back then, they were like, we're, you know, like, you're going to be fine. Like, you're definitely not going to die. But because you're a young dude and we know you're going to bounce back great, we're going to unfortunately have to blast you like really hard with chemotherapy. Just clean your system out completely of any of the particulates that are in your system and your blood. Because my white blood cell count was like secretly high and I didn't know about it because it's starting to fight the infection, whatever this is, you know? So yeah, I had to have a lot of chemotherapy. I had a couple surgeries after that too, because stage 2 meant it went from my groin to another location in my body. And that was my lymph nodes. My lymph nodes on my left side of my groin area and in my back were enlarged too. And they said that's partially because your system's trying to fight infection. But if you were to leave it, like if we didn't touch anything, then over time it can prove fatal because it's going to start pushing into vital organs and detaching from things. And the doctors are like, we don't want to do that. Like we're going to have chemotherapy first. We're hoping if the chemotherapy is good, it'll actually bring down the swelling in your lymph nodes and we might actually not have to have the surgery. And even though I went through the chemo pretty rigorously, the lymph nodes didn't shrink down to size. They actually grew in size more. So I have a surgical incision from my sternum down to my pubic bone because they had to open me up and cut out the lymph nodes that were enlarged. So I got a big scar like right here, and I got
that invasive to get there, huh?
Yeah, because they don't want to go through the back. They actually your lymph nodes and your groin areas sit more towards your back, but invasive back surgery is kind of dangerous, and they're just like, we don't want to make that risk. So we go up front, and they said they like cut me open, and they like literally push my organs out of the way in like a bag. Sometimes they'll even take them out on a table to like separate them so they'll have room to maneuver. But yeah, the surgery was a success at least. And then what happened after that was they said, unfortunately, there was still more of the malignant cells in my system. So the most debilitating part of me battling cancer was after the surgery, not 3 weeks after I'm recovering, I had to take another huge chunk of chemotherapy to quell it. And I want to say, you know, shout out to my doctors for being as knowledgeable and as skilled as they are in testicular cancer. Plus, testicular cancer is one of the most common forms of cancer in men today. Like, so tons of research done. And so thankful for all that. But I was actually suffering greatly more from the chemotherapy than the actual cancer. It's just such a unique and like utterly debilitating feeling. With chemo accumulates over time. You have to pee it out over time too. They're chemicals. You feel your insides just getting like rearranged and like spiky. And then obviously, you're throwing up and you can't keep food down. You're losing hydration. I lost a lot of weight. I lost a lot of my hair. All this was like coming out in swaths. So I had to like cut everything. And I got really, really weak. In fact, I even lost like 40 pounds from all of it because of the water retention I was losing. And then I couldn't keep any calories down, from throwing up and stuff. So it was a very, very eye-opening experience. But from January to September of 2012 was when I was battling cancer. At the end of September, when I finally finished everything and I was done, they're like, we're going to give you 2 weeks rest finally. And then we'll come in, we'll do some more CT scans and some blood work and check your pee and stuff. And if there's nothing in there, then you're in remission and then we're good to go. Okay. So, and then that's exactly what happened. So nothing was left after September and I could finally start working on recovering. But the damage was like, so I had like neuropathy in my hands, especially my right arm, muscle atrophy because I had a blood clamp put on improperly during one of the surgeries I had. And then chemotherapy really wrecks your immune system. So my healing, like my body trying to heal from things was almost non-existent. And then on top of that, I'm not getting nutrition because I'm throwing up everything. So I just look like a husk. I think I still got some pictures and it's just kind of terrifying to look at, like how.
So how often do you have to go back and get checked to make sure that everything stays?
We're down to a year now because as time goes, after you're finished, they want to check you like every few weeks. Then it's like every month. And then when you get to like a year away, it's like, we'll check you every 2 months and then every 4 months and then once every 6 months. And now I'm at the point where I'm just checking once a year,
Nice,
and then they suspect if it were to ever come back and it's like the same cancer is going to come back, it might be bronchial or just it would potentially come back in my lungs, not necessarily my other testicle, although that isn't technically like an unlikeliness that could happen maybe. But they're usually like, if you hit the 10-year mark and you haven't had any like reoccurring anything of any kind, you're probably going to be fine, So,
nice.
so thankfully, as of this last September, I'm 9 months cancer free, and it's just such an eye-opening.
Rad, dude.
Thanks, man.
And
thank you.
How are you with like, because you're saying the immune system fucked with your healing? How has that happened? How is your healing now? Is it back to what normally it would be? Or
I think I was so fed up with having cancer and having to fight cancer at such a young age that when I finally felt like I was at a place of growth instead of recovery was when everything went the complete opposite direction. Like I think I was in the gym like 5 days a week and trying to eat like 3,000 calories and tons of hydration. I was getting my sleep. Like, I was pretty good about like not drinking for like a long time too. And, just my health bounced back.
Second chance type deal.
Yeah. Like I was really angry with what cancer, did to me. And then eventually like what it took away from me. Cause I knew there was no way of going back to a life that I had before cancer, but I could take what I learned from being under the needle and under the knife and going through such a debilitating life journey that I could use that to my advantage now as a way to come back even better. So I was in this whole, like, after I beat cancer, I was like, I'm trying to fucking like transform. I just want to transform, like not just physically, but like here now. Like I want to give a shit about this now. Like I want to give a shit about this. And I shouldn't be saying people out there have it a lot tougher than I did because it's true, but that doesn't necessarily mean I don't want to disregard my own feelings and my own experiences with cancer as well. So I was like, I want to make sure I'm going to use this to the best that I can from here on out with like the rest of my life, how I talk to people and how I go on tour from now on and approaching music and just creativity. And when I get into my adulthood and, because, you're not on planet Earth for like a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds a little phony from like the movies and stuff, but like I shouldn't be trying to waste my time, like, you know, because I was given a second chance, kind of, right? So yeah, take advantage of that.
Well, speaking of like you know, we hear like, because you know, cancer is such a prevalent thing in society and all humans. You kind of get desensitized, especially as someone who hasn't had it yet. I mean, you never know. To people saying battling cancer, they go battling cancer. Like what you said, what you just like described to me was battling. That was like to the, you know, it gets desensitized, that term of battling. Like, oh, you have cancer and you're sitting at home taking, you have no idea what that means until you hear someone tell you the actual full story of what they actually had to go through from start to finish.
And you know, differentiating levels of pain and like despair and for sure, but the same recurring emotions you experience in cancer is depression, again, anxiety, hopelessness. You feel like your face value has gone down because now you're having to fight a cancer instead of work on college or this raise at your job, working on a family, something, you know, touring in a band, you know what I'm saying? And just it's such an eye-opening experience, and I can't begin to tell you like the amount of pain, chemotherapy and like surgery and all that like brings to the table when you have to do it for even a guy like me only doing it from January to September was like unbearable. Like the pain was just it's so hard to explain. It's so internal. Even though outwardly you don't have, like, I'm not feeling pain and like my joints, like, well, I'm feeling pain in my joints, but I'm feeling pain here and I'm feeling pain in my heart and like my head, but just at a level where like it's so hard to explain, but you could see it in my face, kind of thing, you know.
You can't like compare it to the flu or a bad something like that. It's something completely different.
It's something of its own. And you know, I tip my hats off to those who've been battling for a long time, and maybe they're having chemotherapy or radiation therapy for the sake of halting it, not necessarily getting better, but it's just to keep it at bay because they know there's no way to recover or be cancer free anymore in their lives. You know, like again, it was just a really eye opening experience, and I don't know. Ever since then, I try not to ever use that as an excuse to complain about life or things on the road or things at home. And cause you know, like, fuck man, that's like, cancer is like the worst of the worst. Like one of the worst things that could never possibly happen to anybody, really.
Well, it has to bring things back in perspective to make everything that much, I mean, you know, besides cancer, everything's that much easier now. You're like, you know, for what you went through, like all of our life gripes and all of our little things that we talk about, like that's all just like noise now, you know, like after going through fucking something that hardcore, you're like, all right, well, it's like, oh, my girlfriend broke up, you know, something like that's like, dude, I mean,
hey, hold on, no, girlfriend breaking up, it still sucks. Like, don't forget that. I mean, but like,
it's as you get older, it sucks less. I'll just say that much.
Yeah, like you're conditioned, like you've been conditioned for you've gone through hardship, for pain, for you know, one of my favorite one of my favorite things to say to myself these days when things are really rough in life or something, I'm always like, you know, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, hey, I can hope for good things to happen, but in case they don't, I could be as prepared as I can be for some bullshit to come our way.
Yeah, you know, don't put all your chips in on one thing. Like anything can happen. Yeah, exactly. I totally back that.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, man. Like my dad's going through it right now. He's on his like second run of it, and
I'm so sorry,
like,
man.
It's really, it's really, thank you, and it's really great for you to share your story, and it gives me insight too. Just like when you talk about the look on the face, like it's like, wow,
you can like even if they don't show the pain outwardly, you could just see it in their eyes how much pain internally they're going through. Like it's such a I'm so sorry about that with them, man. Yeah. Hope he's gonna do okay.
Yeah, dude. Thanks. No, and I appreciate you sharing your story and everything, and that's really insightful. And I'm glad you're doing well.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Andrew, I'm curious. You had to switch from Surruption to something else while you told us that. I want to know what you were listening to.
We're all gamers here, right? Y'all a bunch of gamers.
I game.
Dabbled, yeah.
But you dabble. Okay.
Yeah,
so there's a really cool, like, it's kind of scary, but it's just a cool exploration game called Subnautica. I think you would love the soundtrack because basically you get marooned on an ocean planet, like an alien ocean world, and you're trying to leave the planet safely. And it's like a builder game, but there's like a story to be told about the planet because you're like the only human out here. But apparently you start running into like an old maroon ship from like 40 years ago. Anyways, I can go on about this game because I love it so much. But
it sounds awesome.
The soundtrack is super ocean vibey, like nautical, like nautical, deep sounding. And again, probably very reminiscent to Fallujah. Like, just it sounds so good.
You're speaking to my pirate fucking vibe.
I will literally send you like I'll share with you like a copy real quick in the side chat over here for y'all to listen to. It's really fast, but yeah, whenever I get into discussions with anything involving mental and emotional health and past traumas and turmoil, anything that has potential for triggers to happen, like, so trigger warning for everything. I switch music and tone kind of thing, because I'm at an age now where I've listened to so much metal that I've been branching out into other fields of music. So lately it's been like future funk I've been listening to. Like, I love ambient stuff. Like, lo-fi is super cool on like your chill days when you're kind of loafing around the house and stuff, so now I'm like strategically listening to certain genres of music for the situation, because when we're younger, we're just like metal, like I'm going from my favorite band As I Lay Dying all the way to All That Remains, and then now to Beneath the Massacre, because that's all I listen to. It's like, no, man, dude, I love bossa nova now. I love jazz. Like, I love lo-fi. I'm listening to video game lo-fi right now, honestly.
I'm listening to the song you just sent. It's mellow, dude.
I can just hit that. I can just open it up and it'll play while I can talk to you guys.
Yeah.
It's fucking 2021, dude.
Dude, I'm the fucking grandpa of the fucking podcast, dude.
I remember Fallujah used to share some old YouTube links off the Facebook page back in the day. I assumed it was Alex.
I'm pretty sure
this
Alex.
album, Telephone Tel Aviv's Fahrenheit Fair Enough.
Yeah.
That album was so sick. It's still one of my favorites. And so I remember you guys like being down with that like down tempo ambient stuff even back then.
This was before the lo-fi came into the musical playing field like today. So a lot of electronic music and like down tempo, like easy electronic like vibes. Like I think when you tour and you're on the road for such a long period of time, two things either happen. You either listen to every metal band in existence and there's no more metal bands to listen to, or you're bored of listening to the same and favorite metal bands. So you start listening to other stuff and seeing if you like anything out there, So I'm glad I forgot that we did that. We did like play like small little, hey, check out these like 20 songs on like Fallujah's top picks for November or something like that, or December, March.
Yeah. You guys are influencing back then. I was like picking up what you guys were putting down. And
fun, man.
I also just think like, I don't know any metal band that like only listens to metal when they're on the road. Like, I think that's like I don't like, it's always you throw on metal, but then you get into other stuff. Like, I think that's hurt.
That'd be really painful.
Everyone feels like they're quick to defend and like, we don't always listen to metal. I'm like, I never thought you would. Like, that would be insane if you
when people say that, you're like, well, I mean, how does any human do that? I mean, I remember being like on
if that happens, it only happens for like a few months.
We got some stories.
I've done a couple of Summer Slaughters where like it's just a full day festival of metal, and you're just destroyed after the day. You're like, it's like you got beat up. You're just like, fuck, dude. Like, I need to listen to some mellow ass shit. I need some pop or something. I just need to listen to something like happy and like, or I don't know, like I went through the whole like
easy
80s.
On the ears, literally.
I remember us having like there was a couple times where like we got in arguments on tour, Joel, like and like not you and me, but the whole band, like over like there was one time where like the bands would give us their CDs, like or like bands that opened and stuff, or like we'd have like the CDs of like different bands like at the shows and stuff. And after these fests and all this, and we're driving, and then we're blasting this death metal CD, and I was just like, enough.
Shut the hell up.
I can't do it. And I remember like we had those iPods, and I've said this before on the pod, like I don't know how many episodes ago, but like I used to like put on like who drove got to pick the music, you know?
Yeah.
And so like when I was driving, I was like, and it was like nothing but just like Madonna and like anything like ridiculous like that, like all of Matt's stuff. I knew that he and Jenny like had all these like 80s shit, you know?
Yeah, I love it. I got way into the 80s on it.
Thank God, something else.
Oh, so you were only allowed to use Matt's iPod though?
Well, no, Joel had one too. Joel had like the fancy one with the rotary wheel.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, Joel's got it. Maybe Matt had one too. I can't remember. But we had like the old ones that were like a little case, and they're like you have to like click the buttons, like the shitty old ones, like. And maybe those were iPods, or I don't even know if those were.
Well, we actually, I'll get into it more when we have Ridquist on. But me and Derek came up with a game to like listen, because we get so many bands like giving us their fucking demos. So it'd just be like stacks, especially like in those 2010 and before eras, was just like all a burnt disc with this, and you have to listen to my blah blah and blah blah. I'm like. And I felt bad because we'd get literally, I'm not even kidding, probably like 7 to 10 a night sometimes. So it'd just be like a big stack of fucking CDs to listen to, and they're just piling up in our van. Mm-hmm. And we actually made a fun little reason to like listen to it, like because it was so like I'm not gonna listen to your, like, we're already so burnt out on death metal. Like I'm not gonna listen to your band now, like, and find out if it's good. Like
I'll listen in the morning. Yeah. I'll listen in the morning.
Exactly.
I need to
just like it just turned to a stack
in a band.
We still listened to him. I'm just talking about like after the show.
Well, no, I'm saying like we made a game
like, God, my
to make
ears,
it fun.
Like,
What was the game?
I wonder. Okay, whatever. It's kind of fucked up. It's kind of a fucked up game. But okay, whatever. I'll bring it up because Derek probably doesn't want to talk about it.
If you didn't like it, you threw it out the window like a frisbee.
Oh yeah. So it's called Derek and I came up. I think it was Derek and I. It might have been Derek and I think it was Derek and I. We came up with Roadside Records.
So real fast.
Yeah.
We did too.
Oh man.
like in the most just hilarious, well, but like kindest way possible. Like
exactly. Well, the thing is, like most people don't understand. Well, no. What people don't understand is that most bands don't listen to fucking demos that are being given. Like most bands aren't listening to them. So it's like we had these stacks of shit, and we were just like, dude, let's fucking listen to all of them. But if you get signed to Roadside Records, if you got signed, then we would throw you out the window. that's when you got, that's a signing party, we called it. So but the thing is, we listened to but we'd find some cool shit and like send it to fucking Unique Leader and like send it to fucking labels. We weren't like, we were actually trying to like find cool shit to like give them exposure and give them a platform. It wasn't like let's listen to these shitty motherfuckers. It wasn't not like that at all. It's like let's listen to it like at least 45 seconds of each out like thing, and then if we don't like it, and just be like instant, we just like throw it out and we just sign them onto the Roadside Records. But we'd actually literally try to like, we would actually pass shit along though, and we actually found out about a bunch of bands and stuff through doing that. So it was like it sounds like
about Archaic that way or something.
No, Archaic was LA Metal Fest that we played.
Yeah,
who was giving out demos out of the back of their car? Isn't that
Archaic? Yeah.
No, I've definitely forwarded things to Eric and stuff that we've heard on the road and stuff for Unique Leader and stuff. Like I was like, dude, this band's from fucking Oklahoma. They're fucking crazy.
I don't remember the band sucking. I just remember being like so burnt. Like
yeah,
but like, dude,
we made it a game of like we are now we are record fucking executives. Like, what are we gonna sign? You know what I mean? It's kind of the game. And it just made it so we had to actually listen to everything. Like we weren't gonna, if you gave us a demo, we were gonna fucking listen to it. Like we had 10 hours to fucking burn every drive, so might as well throw it on. And like I said, most bands would just be like, cool, thank you. Like they wouldn't even give it up, they wouldn't look at it. You know what I mean? So like to at least the positive side of how shitty as that sounds, that game sounds, is that we listen to fucking everything. You know what I mean? So it kind of like a double-edged sword on that a little bit.
That's why I was so chapped. It was like every single demo.
yeah, I know. I would be in I thought it was fucking super fun. I was just kidding. But also too, like we're like on tour with like Vader and like all these death metal bands, and then we're just like all right, let's throw on some more death metal, dude. Like on the right, and your brain's just like, dude, I don't even know.
And then we go to McDonald's 3 times in one day. It was like,
yeah.
So
that's so gross, dude.
It happened.
So fucking gross.
It's happened a couple times.
And I was all like, and they just put a pillow on me, just like,
I mean, they have
silence.
They have salads there, though, right? I mean, if you want to keep it healthy, I guess you could have a couple salads.
I did have a salad. I had like a chicken. I don't know. I like definitely tried to eat all the healthy shit, but still.
Yeah.
How do you stay healthy on the road, Andrew? Oh,
wait, what was that?
Oh yeah,
How'd you eat on the road? Because because you're like healthy and stuff like that. Like, what would you choose if you're like, would it be Subway? I mean, there's not really much to choose from when you're in the middle of nowhere.
When you're with Subway is like, I just get that egg meat sandwich with as many veggies as I could, and I mentally came to resolve the conflict in my brain that the bread was going to taste like cardboard no matter what I chose.
Yeah.
So yeah, Subway.
At least you could pack like all the veggies in. You just that's what you say.
Give me tomato, spinach, man,
all of it, dude.
Little onion, yeah, for sure. I would go for like the chicken melts, because like it's like, hey, at least I'm like at least getting cuts of like probably like chicken tender or chicken breast or something like that. And I know my body needs so much fuel on tour, protein and fats and like carbohydrates and stuff. So even though people shit on it like on tour, I was like, I'm down with Subway. Like I could use a good big old sandwich sub, or if you found a better Subway place or a sandwich place, we'll just go there. But we would do that. And then gas stations was like, any kind of fruit or like bananas, like give me some unsalted or like some salted nuts, give me some protein bars, like any of those kinds of snacks for sure. I tried so hard to not get like the giant bag of Doritos or hella gummy worms every now and then, because you got to treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Dude.
Exactly.
You got to treat yourself, and you deserve reward from even the small victories. So every now and then, boy.
The gummy worms cups, with a squirt, dude.
Yeah, dude. Hey, every now and then I wanted like just a little Mountain Dew, just a little bit.
Totally.
Good old Mountain Dew. Worms. Gamer fuel, dude. Gamer fuel.
One of my
favorite Halloween candies in the fucking kitchen. You guys are making me eat candy tonight, dude.
One of my favorite tour stories ever was I like drove the early morning shift, and then like I was like, and then like Joel like woke up and he's like, we stopped at a gas station and he's like, all right, it's my turn, and he goes in there and comes back, dude. It was like 10 in the morning, right? It was like Flaming Hot Cheetos, Snickers bar, and then a Rockstar. And then he just like puts on his sunglasses and just like, let's go. I'm just like,
yeah, because I think actually like, I was like, I always want to get like a big chunks of driving done, because I was like, I like to hang out after the show, and sometimes I'd be inebriated because of the
of course
the party pleasures that are involved in the back. So
I would drinks, yes,
exactly. So just basically be like, at one time, I swear to God, my record for a drive in one sitting was 1,000 miles as being the driver. Just I was like, I got to hit 1,000, dude. We had to do like a cross country thing, and I was like, I'm gonna hit 1,000, dude. That's what I just want to do, one set of 1,000. Or we're coming back to play like, and I was like, that was like 22 hours. I forget how long. It was like a long time, but it was basically just what Casey's like describing, like just sugar and caffeine and just like the most unhealthy. Like when I was done with that, my body was like, sick, dude. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make you depressed.
Are you cigaretting at the time too?
This is
but I used to smoke cigarettes back then.
So dude, that combo right there of like sugar.
That's how you
cigarettes.
Andrew's like, and I get the cancer. Fuck you, Joel.
No, hey, look, listen to me right now. Hey, Jesus. It's fine. It's fine. I made peace with it a long time ago.
That's totally. It's just like when people treat their bodies like shit and then they're fine. It's like, I don't know. It's just probably be, if I was in your position, I'd be like,
people for sure have their own priorities. Again, I definitely vouch for like reward yourself for even the small victories for sure. And look, I drive so much in Fallujah. I totally understand it. I was about to say, I think I've shaved off like 5 years of my whole lifespan because of doing outrageous night driving that I had to do, being probably heavily caffeinated, not eating the best food, and then lack of sleep, and then probably blasting some music or anything to like just keep me going for a while. I know the pain, and it's totally okay.
You've done a summer slaughter too, so you know the routing of summer slaughter and how the early load-ins were and shit like that. That was insane.
Summer slaughter 2014. I can recall 3 days, or sorry, I should say 3 nights on that tour where we actually stayed either in a hotel or at a friend's house and had over 6 hours of sleep. Like I can recall only 3 because every other night you night drove like no one's business.
You
like
gotta leave, and if you leave right when the show's done, when you pack up, you leave. You'll make it right on time to the next show.
For the next sound check for the first band or for whoever.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude. Summer Slaughter, even though it was a lot of fun and it was like a young metal dude's like dream come true because Summer Slaughter was ripping back in the day. I came home like in so much pain and the biggest bags under my eyes, and I took like a whole week for sure to just recover from that whole thing. It was so debilitating. Like I was so physically and then like mentally exhausted because
I probably wouldn't have got out of bed the first day.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I did. I slept for like 14 hours.
Yeah.
And then
post tour is like just like.
Well, Summer Slaughter is the ultimate boot camp of tour. Yeah. That's like the ultimate. Like, you want to be a touring band? Like, let's throw you on this. Yeah,
not doing the sprinter van or the tour bus thing and sharing with another band. Yeah, okay, you can do it. You'll probably make some great money, honestly, doing that. But be prepared to suffer.
Exactly. It's like 12 drum sets and stuff out there all ready to go. It's like fucking just the logistics. 4 back
lines of cabs, and then you got to shuffle the first like 2 to 3 bands worths and whatever. Yeah. Banners. Everyone's banner for every band,
Totally.
And you make friends with all the first few bands real fast because the pressure's on the first like 3 or 4 bands of a Summer Slaughter tour to like get your shit on, play your sadly 20-minute set or something, and then like you have like 3 minutes to get the hell off.
It was 10-minute changeovers, right? It was 10. Like,
I think
10
it was
minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah. I helped like the drummer before and after me, and then like drummer number 4 or something like that. Because I was like, this shit sucks. All hands on deck, and we get to live another day.
Totally. Yeah, it would just be like you get off stage, and it turns into like, okay, so like go time. Like wasn't go time supposed to be the stage time?
Well, dude, I remember
you could tie that back into the sports thing, like learning teamwork and just knowing that you got to be part of this thing. Yeah. And everybody needs to pitch in and get it done efficiently.
And you got respect for the bands before and after you. So you really want to like do your best to get them on as smoothly as possible. And you don't want to like, what those first tours that bands do, and you see it and where they go too long. They take too long to get off.
The
stage.
Drummer is taking their cymbals off on stage and stuff. Like I would get so livid from that because then it means the next drummer is like, got to go so fast to get set up and then play a set, like I don't know.
Dude,
but I know what you're saying.
I remember like that first like real tour we did like after Bloodletting, but that one with Black Dahlia, and like we were like the opener and stuff, and like it was like, I mean, I'm from California, like getting like, it was like a crazy winter, like brutal ass winter in 2008, like, and it was like, get your shit off stage and get outside, and I'm like sweating and steam's coming off me. I'm covered in sweat and it's like snow everywhere. And
I'm like, go in the snow.
Whoa. And it's like freezing outside. I'm just like, don't even know what to do. I'm like, take my shirt off and put on a sweat. I don't even know what's happening. I'm like, they're just like, get your shit off. Like, like super fast, it's just like,
I've had so many of those.
Oh,
you end up doing a lot of those on European tours that are in the wintertime sometimes. Like, and it's fucking brutal. That's how you get sick on tour. And that's how, you can probably get fucking hypothermia, like straight up. I've gotten horribly sick from having to go outside in freezing cold
and freezing
from playing in a brutally hot, super sweaty show.
Yeah,
tight packed crowd and stuff. Fun, but man, you're like you're freezing in place at that time. It's fucking crazy.
I think probably the coolest thing that's ever happened touring in my life was probably the coolest thing. This has got to be number one. Is having we had a tech, like a roadie that would go with us, and one time, or probably like 10 times out of the tour, I got to just take off my bass and hold it up in the air, and he would just grab it, and I just got to walk off stage. It's like not worrying about my gear. He would just like take care of all of it. Like I was like, what the fuck? This is the coolest thing I've ever done.
Like you feel so spoiled,
Totally.
Like, yeah.
Well, it's like you see all the other big bands that you've been touring with, all the headliners, like they get that. They usually get something like that. They get to walk off, and like, all right, let's hang out now. And like the the pre and post show is such a fucking, oh god, this is this is the Black Dahlia
what tour is like,
decrepit.
ladies and gentlemen. That's how you like, living it up.
I was dying right there.
That was like a gnarly.
I'm drinking probably fountain water out of a plastic cup that was in Motel 6.
Dude, those hotels that night that you were able to like thankfully get,
yeah,
or if you got any, god, those were like the only moments in time on tour where I felt like, okay, I can like actually relax and get sleep and feel like I'm getting some sort of recharge enough for the next day's whatever the hell chaos we're gonna get into then, so
totally.
Man, crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
Dude, waking up and just having time to go get breakfast and shit and not have to
just shower in general.
Shower, dude. Yeah.
So this tour we did with Black Dahlia was out of a F-150 truck with a cab on it,
bro,
and it was literally one of the coldest winters in the last 30 years.
And then the heater core blows out while you guys are in the middle of that winter. So you didn't have a heater.
So we had basically all about like 9 sleeping bags in the back to like, because you had to cocoon in the back if you wanted to survive. It was like literally one of the, like I said, like one of the coldest winters like on record for the last 30 years. We decided to go fucking tour with Black Dahlia, so it's like a huge fucking tour. And we're like, well, we got this and this. Like Black Dahlia is awesome enough to bring a small band out, and I obviously will always appreciate that, but we were not equipped for it at all. You know what I mean? Like we were like, we got a truck, dude. All right, we can do this. Yeah,
dude.
And I work in automotive, so they hit me up and they're like, dude, what the fuck happened? And I'm like, dude, the heater core. And then they're like,
why to break?
And then I told them it's the heater core, and then I look it up, and it's like one of the rare trucks that it takes like 10 hours to do that job.
Shit.
And they're stuck in the fucking middle of winter, fucking having to survive. Didn't you guys have to go get like space heaters that you worked off of? Like, a generator or some fucking shit?
Well, no, we just had to like basically dress for the outdoors inside the car. Like we had to wear like mittens and like boots, and
body heat.
And like
we didn't really know much different though, because this is our second tour.
Penis to penis.
It was freezing, driving, just like shaking, like. And I'm wearing like 3 layers of socks and like boots, and my like feet are like it hurts.
Yeah.
It was insane, dude. It was like the craziest shit.
I would have wanted to be by Joel. He's got probably the most body heat out of everybody.
You don't need to call me fat like on the podcast.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying it's like silverback.
Wait, is that on the bingo man?
No, dude. He's like he knows how to build a nest. He's like a silverback. He can keep you warm.
It was so gross back there though. After like towards the end of the tour, it was like 9 sleeping bags just like piled on each other. It's like, dude, just wrap up if you get back there. And just figure it out. Just survive. Just like it's like
in the back of the fucking bed with a camper shell, dude.
It was crazy,
man. I don't know how you did that, dude. That's.
Well, I mean, we didn't know any different. We didn't know like the luxuries of anything. Like we were like, well, we get to tour with this huge tour with Hate Eternal and Black Dahlia. Like, what the fuck? Like, we're gonna definitely do this. Like, we have no other way. We have no other vision of how this is supposed to go. We've never done a winter tour before. We did one summer tour with like a smaller tour before this. So it's like, all of a sudden we're thrown into like your guys in the big leagues now, like figure it out.
It's exciting to think about the ambition of myself or anybody else in their early 20s of just saying, fuck it, dude, I'm going, dude.
Yeah, we were all just friends and we just wanted to fucking do it. So it's like you just figure it out somehow. We didn't have no plan. It was just like, oh shit, yeah, it actually is really cold. Oh, I remember one time so we were in Wyoming and
it was really cold. Oh,
yeah, we were in Wyoming and they were just like, basically they're like, oh, the roads are all closed on the 80, in Wyoming, and because they don't take care of their fucking roads. And we like go to this like truck stop and we're stuck there for a day or two, and then they're like, oh, dude, roads are opening, and I somehow got my feet wet or something. I have no idea, but like my feet were wet, and we get in this line of like 300 fucking trucks and like semis and cars, and all of a sudden we are going. We're like rolling. We're like, fuck yeah, dude, we're fucking actually moving. This has been like a long time since this happened. And then we stop, and then we're there for about 2 hours with no movement. And this guy comes up to us, like knocks on our window. He's like, you guys might be here for like 2 days. We're like,
what the fuck?
And I'm like, what the? And and we have no heater. My feet are wet. They're like becoming like hypothermia stuff. I had to take my shoes off and just wrap them up in like a sleeping bag to like, because my feet were like freezing.
They won't dry.
They won't dry.
Cold.
Exactly.
Cold dry. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like, just, I mean, we sat there for 9 hours and then they opened it. But it was like, they said 2 days walking up, and I was like, 2 days in fucking traffic? Like, I don't know, you know, like when they opened it, I was like, oh shit, this is why the roads were closed. It was like the scariest drive ever.
Well, then
like,
they opened it, then there's like an accident again. Like they had to wait again.
You got like a half-eaten Snickers, some fucking trail mix, and you're like, fuck, dude.
Just putting a Snicker on each toe.
A Gatorade bottle that you pissed in. You're like,
I had this like picture that I was trying to find just now, but it's like of when we came back and we were driving back up the Donner Pass, like, and it's like of Matt like out by the van, and he's got like mittens on and everything. He's just like all he's like an Eskimo, dude. It's insane. Like, but yeah, dude, that was so crazy, dude.
Also, probably one of the best tours I've ever done, though. You know.
Oh yeah, no, the shows were insane. Like, so fun. But like,
it's a nocturnal tour. Yeah, it's amazing.
But
that's a sick ass album, dude.
I remember right when that road got going again, like it was like, okay, we're cruising down, and then we like got to the spot where it's like a straightaway, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, there's like all these semis off to the side of the road over here, and all these like cars and semis
that's
off to the side
Oregon.
Of the road there.
I remember that.
Oh, was it Oregon? I thought it was
Oregon.
Wyoming. Oh, okay.
No, I remember I was sitting in the back, like
we were driving. We're like,
window.
What's wrong with everybody? All of a sudden, we just start like sliding like sideways, like.
Yeah, you see a semi flipped over here, semi flipped over here, and you're like,
a couple of people just died in Pacifica like 2 days ago, dude. A fucking truck.
From all the snow?
Well, no, a truck was yeah, dude, all the snow. No, a truck was fucking coming down a steep hill and no brakes, dude, and plowed through the fucking intersection, dude. Right on Highway 1, dude. It was fucking like coming down. They're coming down Highway 1 up over the hill, when you go past Lindemar.
Yeah.
And fucking so that intersection, it's up against the hill, so it's literally a blink of an eye, and you're done.
So Andrew, I'm sure you talked about doing like winter tours. Like, what's your scariest "my life is on the line" like moment that you've had? Because I'm sure there's been like 7.
I have to actually think about these. One definitely happened when I was home battling cancer. Actually, on the I-80 route from wherever in Wyoming to Denver, Colorado.
Yep.
Hate Eternal Goat Whore, Fallujah. They had Jack Blackburn on drums for me, and he had to take my kit because I had to stay home. And then Alex had something else to do too. I think he had something like college related he couldn't like back out of. So Riley McShane was doing vocals for Fallujah at the time.
Yep.
They flipped on the I-80 road, and it was a winter tour as well because of black ice pretty much, and it like destroyed the trailer, and the van was like unsalvageable. Like it was unfixable pretty much. So band wise, that was like terrible. But I think, man, I can remember one time. I remember one time during like a winter tour, we were doing one ways or 2-way road or whatever, just like one side for you, one side for the oncoming traffic. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I was going like 70 miles per hour with the van and trailer, but man, a truck was trying to bypass another slower truck.
Oh God.
And it was doing the whole, like, we're getting closer and closer. Like, are you going to like slow down to get back behind them? Or are you going to try and cut it? Cause I think the driver being past the other truck was being a jackass or something, but it got way too close. And I didn't have a head-on collision. Like, I wasn't going to obviously have a head-on collision, but it was one of those moments where like, I'm on the road, they're coming, and he had to like get back behind them really quick. So he's like hitting the brakes really fast, and I was almost getting off the road and hitting the what do you call those things again? The rivets in the side of the road.
The wake up fucking thing.
Yeah, I had to hit those really, really hard, and I didn't jolt out of the way, but I was like, oh geez, you know. And then the thing started, and then I heard sirens going my way, and I'm like, I think it was like a night drive at like 2 a.m. I think on the way to, I think it was on the way to Idaho. On the way to Idaho, it was on the I-80, but I don't know. There's like always like small things.
Yeah.
If you think about really deeply, you're like, man, if I was just like a second too late, or like 4 seconds late,
everything would
like,
be different,
or 2 seconds ahead or something.
Totally.
Like I would have been hit, or I would have crashed into this, or I would have
killed a seagull in New York, dude.
You did?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was driving in a bird. I had a bird. But I mean,
just 1 second. If we left like 10 seconds later, that bird.
No, you always think about that too. I mean, even like going down to go visit. Sure like Anthony, I'll go visit Anthony. I'll go like hit the one and stuff, and there's it's a one-way each way thing, and people think they can fucking go for it. And there's been times where I have to stop and pull over, like because I'm about to get hit head on. Like everyone's gonna die. Like
every now and then, there's like one of those for sure. You just like, totally. That was fucking.
It's not
close.
worth the extra 2 minutes you would save or whatever going around.
Yeah,
buddy, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
Just even listening to Fallujah on the drive over to go get like guitar strings just now, there's always the guy that needs to be ahead of you. It's like he's like on your butt, he's trying to switch lanes constantly, like he's all aggressive and like and he gets in the wrong lane and then he goes behind, he's like it slows down and then he finally catches back up and then he tries to get back in the lane and he's like almost like fucking pit maneuvering you because he's so close.
And you would still see them at the
stoplight.
You're moving,
exactly.
And you're moving at the same speed, the same distance, and he just had this crazy version of getting to the same place you're at, dude. It's like
dude, sick, dude. You made it 23 seconds earlier. Like we almost died. Like, do you understand what you're doing?
Died.
I got all my kids in the back right now, dude. I had to swerve off the road, dude, but you got there 20 seconds before me.
Yeah. Congratulations. I'm glad you did that. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Well, that's just entitlement. It's fucking people being selfish, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. It's like the needing things now and all the things, you know. But Andrew, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, man. I feel
Thanks
like
for having me. Yeah.
I wanted to bring up something real quick.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm super inspired by some of your drum parts and stuff, and specifically that song "Abandon" on Dreamless. That
pull up real quick.
I mean, just in general, like those like drum parts, but like that like beginning riff that like and like goes fast and slows down, like the kicks. Super cool, dude. Like so, just just wanted to like tell you that I think that's rad. And if there's anything you want to say about like writing that, or just your ideas behind that, or just. It sounds like stuff I've never heard. Like I'm like, oh, I've never heard someone do that like that way. You know, it's like original. It's cool.
I was actually just explaining this to Scott, and I think it's actually hella funny now that I think about it with him. But Scott is technically the primary songwriter, so he's actually written a lot of the drums. But then I would come in to like humanize the drums, make it sound like a human was actually playing it. Because I know when we're like in the midst of like our writing processes and we're using Cubase or like drum program stuff, like at the same time we're making drums, like there's both a hi-hat and a China and a ride playing or something like that, and I'll be like, all right motherfucker, look, which one you want a hi-hat, you want a ride, or China when I'm doing these blasts, or double kicks? Just choose, because I can't whip out a third arm or whatever the fuck. Anyways, Scott wrote the majority of those drum parts, and then I would come in to do all the actual playing of them and stuff. But I would like to think that I'm able to get away with stuff like that because of, well, one, triggers, but two, double stroke technique, doubles on the feet, you know.
So you're doing doubles on that part?
Yeah, so I'm doing doubles.
Crazy. Okay.
And it's kind of like a little exercise I would do to get warmed up. I haven't done it in a while, but back then I would do like standard single note double kicks, then into like 16 quarter notes, into then full time I call them double stroke technique as like way to get warm. So I go up and then I actually go back down, and I just choose like a tempo range I'm comfortable with, like 230 or I guess 110 or something like that. But I'm glad that you brought that part up, because I was like, technically that part's like a warm up thing I did for a long time, where dun, 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 you know, and I haven't actually listened to that song or played Abandoned in a long time. That's crazy. It's crazy that you brought that up. I didn't think about that.
It's just one that like stood out for me, you know.
I think I would like to think that the drums coming up in this next album though are going to be, it's going to sound both very familiar and really fresh and new at the same time. Like it's almost going to feel like we call it a trip down memory lane, but there's also like some high tech advanced shit, you know, like.
Cool, man. Stoked to hear it. Nice.
Yeah, dude. I'm really excited.
What kind of drum kit did you use on it?
God, I can't remember. It's whatever that one Yamaha studio custom kit that Mark Lewis has. I forgot what it was.
Is it a recording custom?
Yeah, I think it's a recording custom.
Yeah, recording custom. Yeah, those are.
I forgot what type of wood it is or something, but the tones are just like near perfect, like so like good. And God, and for his recording purposes too, for his own mixing and mastering later, he's like, I need this kit to sound immaculate so I can make you sound amazing, pretty much.
Yeah, that's killer. I love it.
So we did that, and then I just did kick sample pads, like kick e-kit pads for my feet.
Okay.
In the studio, because we're just gonna be using triggers, no big deal to us. But
it helps with the bleed, right? And like the overheads.
It helps with the bleeds and the overheads,
tom mics and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was in a really unique looking drum room that he was like constructing for the past like year. And he's just like, I just do kick pads, and that's like less overtone work for me. It's gonna be like a lot more precise, and it'll be so much easier to help me with matching up to click tracks and corrections later and whatever. So it was a weird hurdle for me at first when I first started recording with him, and just recording in general. But you get used to it after a while. I'm kind of like, no, I actually prefer doing e-kit pads for my feet recording now, because it just feels a bit more just accurate, I guess.
Is this the first time that you've recorded one doing that?
No, so I did it also for Dreamless, and then I did it for Flesh Prevails as well, because I play on two single kicks. I got a PDP double drive kit behind me. Mm-hmm. I got it for a President's Day sale for $750. It's pretty good.
Nice.
But I play on two single kicks, so two kick drums live. Yep.
Yeah, man.
Man.
Yeah, I've been really stoked on your drumming on the Ominous Ruin album.
So to answer your question that I got weirdly changed around at the beginning of the podcast.
We can finally talk about all the projects even. And Mildratha, dude, when you started getting into it, I'm like, wait, Mildratha is like old? I thought. And I'm like, no, you're talking about the new shit. But dude, I love that band too. So get into all of that right now. Yeah.
Again, Rob Miramonte, that's his project for sure. He just wanted some drummer help, and it was my good gateway into doing recording session work for other bands out there. So I did the Ominous Ruin album that recently dropped, which is probably one of the most, like, at this current moment in time, probably one of the most technically death metal demanding like albums I've done. Disregarding Fallujah right now, and then I've helped out a couple of black metal projects. One's called Deliria and the other's called Embrium. I actually played one of my first shows in a very long time live with Embrium about a month ago in San Francisco, and that was kind of mind blowing. They were doing the whole, proof of vaccination stuff, and I was like, wow, man, I feel good over here. It's nice people and everyone's safe. Mm-hmm. So I did that. Deliria, Embrium, Mildratha, Ominous Ruin. I did a 10-minute Mordant Rapture song recently, and there's actually a drum playthrough of that too, and it's pretty good. It's pretty sick. Symphonic death metal, pretty much. If you're a Warhammer 40K fan of any kind, it basically just sounds like that, but like death metal, neo gothic stuff. And then another recent album that's actually going to be coming out pretty soon will be Tegmentum. It's got Chelsea Murphy on vocals, Michael Ball on guitar. He just filled in for Lightworker for their small little tour out here recently. Chelsea Murphy did some vocal work for the latest Doom video game. There's some notables in the San Francisco Bay Area that are just really stalwart musicians.
What other band? She's in another band, right? She's in the band.
Dawn of Ouroboros.
That's
Ouroboros?
right.
I think that's how you pronounce it. But
yeah.
But yeah, I've been like getting into session work for other bands because it's financially keeping me on my toes, and it's also like I don't know, it just feels very fulfilling. I haven't done like live work for a lot of these bands. I just say like I could do studio stuff because this gives me time at home to work on things and be in my own element now. And then I just come to the studio prepared and then just lay down. And then I just help out. So.
I'm like kind of blown away right now because I have a confession to make. Is I totally forgot that you're on the Ominous Ruin album. Like, and I already think that you're like so sick from just Fallujah, and I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I like knew I knew that you were on it. I heard it before and shit, and I've been. Mm-hmm. I don't want to get into the surprise yet, but I've been Alex is a great friend. I'll just put it that way.
Okay.
The guitar player in Ominous Ruin. If you guys haven't heard Ominous Ruin, you need to go listen to it. It's fucking badass.
It's really good. It's really good. Like really really good sounding technical death metal. It's really catchy.
I love it. It's so good.
Fast, aggressive, and it's like so like precise. Like it sounds really good. Sounds good.
And I forgot because they obviously have a different drummer live right now, and Joseph's doing shows with them and stuff. And I've seen the videos and the clips, and then I like totally just blanked on that.
Harley Blandford, shout out.
Yeah.
Harley.
Good dude.
Yep.
Really good.
I am really stoked to be going back to back with him on the kit. He's actually gonna share the kit with me on those 3 shows. So
okay, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I was gonna say I saw Ominous Ruin on the package for these for those flyers. Are they playing all 3 of those shows or just the 2?
Yeah. It is technically, I could have announced it as it's the 2 of us, the 2 bands going on tour together. So, but with different headliners each night that aren't on the package. So
right.
Yeah, but no, we're super stoked to chill with Alex and fucking the rest of those guys as well. So
okay.
I mean,
I'm glad you liked it.
And there's so much good shit coming out like right now and stuff, and like lately or this last year or whatever. But for me, like my favorite albums, like as of lately, and like to me they have some similarities but they're different, is that Ominous Ruin album and the Ophidian Eye album, Desolate.
I haven't heard that one yet.
Like, the recordings are so precise and sick and heavy, and it's so fast, and like, dude, you should check that out, man. They're from Iceland. They're fucking insane.
Okay.
But the singer lives in San Diego down here, so he's like, super cool guy, but they're all Icelandic. Sick.
Even the dude from San Diego, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, but dude, it's man, like, but that I'm so fucking blown away right now. Like, I'm like already such a fan of yours, and then I'm like, what, you did that? God damn it, dude.
That's so funny to say. It's so weird for me to hear that for people, especially from you, because like I remember just being like enamored by your YouTube videos when I was a young high school buck, being like, I want good death metal, and I saw your dude. I thought you were fucking gnarly. Thanks, man. Like, I think you're fucking gnarly, dude. You're so good.
Oh, dude, he's not done, dude. I know.
He's never been done. I don't think you're ever really done.
Drumming coming soon, man.
Okay.
Very soon.
I actually have I'm not going to divulge too much, but this Sunday, I've got my own, like my personal studio, like that I rent, like set up again to record and like do demos, basically, and like I'm going to do my first like practice for this new project on Sunday, like just full force, get the triggers back up, just go for it.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just like, so I'm like excited about it. I'm like,
dusting off the triggers.
Yeah, exactly. No,
looks like we're coming out of retirement, boys.
Literally, there's dusts on them. I gotta dust them off, like, for sure.
Yeah.
So looking forward to it.
I've
been drumming, but I haven't been doing the,
Yeah, bring it back, baby. Bring back some of that. Bring some of that old fire back, man.
It's in there.
But bring some new fire. Actually,
I can't do the doubles though, man. I just doesn't work for. I can do doubles with my hands for days and everything, but my feet just don't want to. My right foot can do doubles fine, but it's like my left foot.
It's usually left foot. Yeah,
definitely. So for me, I just stick with singles. I don't need to go faster than whatever, like I could do back in the day anyways. Like I'm just like, whatever, that's fine. I don't need to play 300, like,
we don't want to go that fast either, dude.
we had Derek Roddy on the podcast, and he was all, dude, I'll teach you singles on your left foot in 30 minutes.
He said 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He's like 5 minutes lessons.
He said 5 minutes.
You'll be doing 300 BPM doubles. Like,
wait, Roddy, wait, I'm sorry. You said Derek Roddy said that?
Derek Roddy was just all like, I'll teach you for like 5 minutes.
No, he said, he's all, hit me up, Casey, I'll teach it. No, I'm just all like, I don't even want to learn. I just want to like not know.
He's like, you got to eat 12 raw eggs a day.
Yeah, I don't want to know the secret. I don't think I can handle it. I think
it's it's literally like, eat your fucking carrots. It's like that easy. It's just eat good, man. Just eat good. Stretch your feet out. I don't know, man.
Well, no, I think from talking to Tim Young like that, like, because he was like, well, you got to like kind of like change like the feel of your pedals in the head and stuff. Really,
you do.
And so he was, and he's just like, I just like prefer like the old school. And I mean, it's like, do you need to go faster than 250, 260? Like, I mean, it's like 300 is insane. Like when someone plays 300 perfectly, like in front of you, it's mind-boggling and fucking badass.
Let's be real. I don't think anyone can really play 300 perfectly on the albums, maybe.
Yeah, but like Longstreth,
but live, like and shout, and
those guys can do that.
Like all due respect, they can they can do it. So but crazy. Then again, that shouldn't be pressure on you to be like, I gotta change my pedal, change my heads and stuff. You know, like you should just you gotta be your authentic version of yourself, because we don't have enough of that. You know, like
I mean, honestly, like that's why, like, I mean, it's like I love double stroke drummers and I love single stroke drummers, and I think that they're both sick in like just different ways. And like, there's a reason why Callias is so badass at doing like singles like that. Like, it's so powerful, and just he's the king, dude. Like, I mean, let's be real. Like,
he's one of the kings for sure.
I mean, like, he's like a single stroke. I think he's double up there
bass with Roddy. I mean,
but dude, I mean, it's like, I mean, for me, it's like, you know, Roddy, Tim Young, and all that. But it's like, but Callias, like his feet, dude, like
if you can like, play at those speeds without triggers and still maintain your power, your power output, that's like true, in my opinion, legitimate, true top level double kick prowess. Like, because when you go fast, you lose. Like when velocity increases, you lose power. So if you're able to keep power high at high velocity, that's like,
is Callias like that on his snare too? I would
beat his snare. He's amazing and all. He's a great, like, well-rounded player, but like there's video, I mean, like he can dig in with single strokes on his feet in a way that's like beyond, like, it's fucked up, dude. It's like so fucking rad. It's like crazy. Callias wins, dude. He really does.
Greek god, dude.
Like, and I like drummers, like, personally, like, out of all those guys, Tim Young's my favorite style. The way that, like, and I'm not even talking about all the flair, like on a recording, like the way that he plays and digs into it. Tim Young's like my favorite, but like. And Roddy too, in different ways. Roddy's like a genius, and with like these old school dudes, and then Pete Sandoval and all those guys. They're all so. And Dave Kouros. I mean, it just goes on.
Ringo
and on.
Starr.
Dude, exactly. Pete Best, bro. You know, but like, you know, I'm just saying that it's a whole different thing. It's so cool, and like I love it all. Like, but and then like but like for me, like with all the double strokes, I always like heard it from like Longstreth first. So I still think he's kind of the king of that. Like, I don't know. Or like Dave McGraw from, you know,
Cali Cap.
Yeah, he's insane too. I mean, I don't know. And you're insane. Like, you know, I don't know. All these guys that can do the doubles like that, I have a lot of respect. It's really cool. I think it's fucking sick. Yeah. And then the drummer for Ophidian Eye, like Ragnar, I think is his name. Ragnar, that's right. He's incredible too. There's videos online. Check him out. And this guy from Ominous Ruin, I forgot his name. Who's the drummer on that? Just kidding.
No,
dude, I can't believe you played that. Really? I still can't believe you played that.
I know. I'm gonna make a quick.
It's so good.
Like, admission right now is that I actually didn't even know that you did the drums on that until Casey said.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. We're all just freaking out right now. Like, that is a killer performance.
No, I've listened to that like a ton.
That's what I'm coming full circle on here, is to say that you're.
It's fun. Thank you. No, it was genuinely like a ton of fun to play. Just crazy, like guitar, like the writing for it was just so insane, and it was so I was just so thankful of the dudes and for Alex to be like you're the drummer from Fallujah. I want you to make you like these drum. I want you to make these drums you. Like, you should be the drums for the album, like the way you play. And I was like, honestly, a lot of your pre-pro that you have for me is pretty much along the lines of how I want to play it. I just want to like clean a couple of fills up, or even do some different fills here and there, and then streamline a couple extra things. And I think I'm good. I just need time to practice, and then, you know, boom, connect the dots. And now we have this like just crazy, just sick technical death metal album. So cool.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So cool. Yeah. So thank you. I'm glad you liked it, man. I'm glad you like it, dudes. It was a fun time. I told him I'll try to help him out with a show in the future if something happens with Harley or he can't do anything. Yeah. But I gotta relearn the songs.
or maybe do like a video or something of playing them.
Yeah.
Or something,
yeah.
you know?
I do want to
really
do.
Cool. Yeah.
It's down the line. I gotta figure it out. But I told him I do want to do. Well, hold on. No, technically we have one drum video playthrough out of one of the new songs, and we had another one actually in the works. It's the Simulacra song, I think.
Yeah,
that was supposed to be the playthrough video number 2, but we're still waiting on some edits, and I think life kind of took hold for a few people. So
so it's not out yet.
It's not out yet, but okay. I've seen the footage of it, and it sounds amazing. I will go to Cody Cody Fuentes at Reps Recording Studios in Hayward. He's like my main go-to guy for in studio drum anything. And then I've been going to Fang Studios in San Mateo to do some other stuff with people as well. So yeah.
Cool, man.
It's so cool to hear about these other parts of the Bay that's got these pockets of people that still fucking have resources. They have the fucking venues that they grew up going to. I love it's like it's cookie cutter, but it's not like, I mean, it's just like we all grew up kind of within the boundaries of something, and then, you know, us as individuals make it different. But it's like having the sanctuaries, having the super homies, and I just love it, dude. And this is right over in the East Bay, right? Hayward's East Bay, right?
I'd say East Bay. Yeah.
That's fucking cool, dude.
Cali Death's not dead yet, dude.
No, it isn't.
I don't think it's ever died, but I feel like there might have been a lull, and that's okay, because that means you know, when things actually start to finally clear up with COVID and shows are much more frequent and en masse, then boom, you know, kind of like a bit of a revival, hopefully, you know. There's
peaks and valleys to everything, dude. But
exactly.
Like this, California's always got plenty of creative people, and and there's roots in so many things that there's evolution and everything. And you got the ominous ruin, you got the Fallujah now, and it's like it just keeps on expanding, and we keep going for the ride, dude. And that's fucking.
We just listen. I want to see what the scenes and like what metal bands do a few years from now, what that's going to look like for us, you know, how that might change the environment, how that might change the standard, the considered standard of what like a musician should try to strive to be in metal, you know, like we're even the phase of music that we're experiencing today in this modern day environment, whatever, for shows and bands, and I call it bandom, like a kingdom, you know, bandom. Yeah. It'll change. I want to see what it's going to be like from like 5 years from now, 10 years even. Who knows? Yeah, I'll be in my 40s by that time, you know. So
with other things that we talked about, though, dude, all the adaptation that we have, dude, we're gonna figure it out, dude. Everybody's gonna be experiencing music for as long as we're on this motherfucker. You know,
exactly.
We're gonna blow ourselves up, and right before we fucking explode, somebody's gonna be listening to some shit. You know, music's still gonna be there right till the end, and we're gonna keep figuring out cool ways to fucking listen to it and be involved and all that shit, dude.
And thanks to Fallujah for like mixing it up a little bit with like we were talking about the ambient, kind of like bringing something different to the table. It doesn't have to always be just like crazy notes and odd time signatures. It could be like something that's just brings something new that's no one's really done.
And I like when you said moody. That's a very good way to
it's like what's coming. I mean, well, I have like 10, 15 years from now, like I have no idea where this
more computers.
yeah.
It's robots.
It's Transformers mixed with fucking No, it's gonna.
Have you guys heard of the band Captured by Robots?
No.
Oh yeah.
Never.
Does it sound exactly like the name?
No, they are robots, right?
They're great. Yeah, dude, check that out.
What?
Yeah. But yeah, man, dude.
It's like Igor doing like you're listening to, I mean, Igor's been around for a long time, but like listening to what they're doing to shit, you're like, what the like where is the like I love that there's like adding that progressive tag to something, and with progressive metal or rock, progressive just means like whatever. Doesn't mean like they could throw like Native American music in there. They could throw like Eastern Indian music. You know, it's like there's so many different things they can throw into it. Yeah, it's still progressive and it's still metal or rock and it's still the same thing. And that's what I love the most about like these genres. It's like they allow for like the most insane ideas to come through and be still, you know, prevalent and prominent in the genre.
Pushing the boundaries, like things expand, and like a thing like Igor is just like constantly hitting that as it's expanding, like trying to burst through it, even though we're never going to burst through to the other side of it.
The thing that Igor, I watched that documentary that actually the one part that really tripped me out was like they're recording the very end of the album. And the very end, he decided to set his cab on fire with the recording mic while his mic's on fire, and he's playing the last riff. And it's like all of a sudden it starts distorting and becoming all weird because the fire is taking it over. Yeah. And like it actually sounds fucking cool. And like, and he's playing until the mic finally gives out, and then he's like, that's how I knew the album was done. I was like,
wow,
what the fuck? I was watching that. I'm like, Jesus, this shit's getting so deep and crazy now. I'm like, fuck, dude, we were not lighting shit on fire. It's like,
light more shit on fire.
I know, right? Beavis and Butthead taught me right, I thought, but yeah, fuck yeah.
But yeah, like I think we were talking about this on the pre-pod, but I got to see you guys at Ozfest 2017, right? We figured out, was it the year? And then did you play before Suffocation or after Suffocation?
Definitely before. I think we were band two out of 6 or something like that. Yeah. And it was a nuclear blast stage. Like it was like a smaller stage, but it was like stage 1 out of 3. And that was a really, really cool time. Like really, really fun show. We played kind of early too. I think we played like something like 2 o'clock or something like that. But still like ripping crowd, really good attendance. The energy was just really good. That was a good time, man.
Joseph and I got there like around like noon or something or 1, and like we're like, okay, we got to go to that stage right away. And then we saw like you guys, we saw your whole set, and I had like heard of you guys and heard you guys. I just didn't really know like your albums and stuff, but I was like, sick, dude. I like thought it was so fucking rad. Like,
thank you.
Blown away, and like your drumming, and then the whole band, and then of course Scott, and just like shredding. And then I'm like, okay. And then Suffocation plays, and it's all sick. And then it Possessed played too on that stage. Right? That was so cool. Yeah, saw that. And then like I think Joseph and I talked to you like around by the porter potties or something, you know.
Okay.
I was like, what's up, man? So like met you real fast. We're like, oh yeah.
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
And the quote I remember was you said to Casey, "I used to be obsessed with your drumming." that line has stuck with me from that meeting.
It's still true. But I'm talking. And this is the horrible thing about myself that I'm always finding myself running into with meeting people on tour and at shows. I forget people. Like I forget who people look like.
Oh, dude, me too.
I forget names.
Sure, yeah.
You know. So when you bring up when people like are thankfully able to identify themselves to me, like tell me who they are or something like that. Then it's like, oh my God. Okay. Now I know who you are, dude. You're sick at X, Y, and Z. Because this brain can't keep that much.
Yeah. You got it in a file somewhere. You just need the spark to
make me remember it. Yeah.
Exactly. Do you ever feel like forced in it? Like I get in this position sometimes where like, oh, Joel. Yeah. I saw you in Nebraska, blah, blah. We did this and this together. Blah, blah.
I'm fucked. I'd be so fucked.
And I just will be like, oh, okay, yeah. Oh, but I'm like totally lying because I'm like, I just don't want to make them feel bad because they're so enamored with that time we had. You know what I mean? Like they had such a good time that I don't want to be like, oh, I forgot. So I'm like stuck in the middle ground of just being like, yeah, totally, man. Yeah, I remember you. I literally will like, I won't say anything specific, but I'll be like, I'll just give them the nod and be like, fuck yeah, dude. That was sick.
I was about to say, I was like, I think the default term to go to or default phrase you say is like, I saw you do it this thing at this show on this tour. And you're like, yeah, that was sick, dude.
It's like that.
Because you're trying to be genuine. Because you're like,
totally.
Like, oh, I mean, I'm on the tour. I can't remember like, because my day to day on the tour is I remember, what was I saying before? When you talk to people who like go to the one specific show
exactly
in their town that week,
and in their head, that's the only show. That's the only show in their head.
Their favorite thing they were looking forward to for like a month. But our daily on tour is like tour becomes like a monotonous activity after a while, and we can't differentiate the different days between each other until something like extraordinary happens, and it like fuck, that's the show that my cab blew up, or like, oh crap, someone stepped on a cable, so my triggers were out for a song, and it was like embarrassing, or oh, we got paid $1,000 at the merch table because this one person like loved us, like that's how I'm able to actually remember key moments on tour, like, and it sucks because it's like I don't want to undermine their emotions and enjoyment of that show. So it's like
that's something like stuck. You're stuck,
like, dude.
Like,
dude. Yeah, it was sick, man. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Exactly if they follow up with something specific, like remember when Johnny did this, dude? And you're just like,
yeah, you remember me, dude? I said hi to you at the end of your set or something. I was like,
fuck yeah, dude.
Yo, what's up, man? How you doing?
All right, I'm gonna test you at this one, Alex. Or Andrew, sorry.
Oh no.
Whoa, Alex.
I was thinking because Alex was singing at the time for you guys.
Yeah.
I saw you guys in Sacramento. Yeah. And this dude came in and started making it rain during your set, like throwing dollar bills
nice
onto the stage and into the audience. It was just in Sacramento. I think it was the Conducting from the Grave headlining show.
I think I remember this show
with Soma Ross and early Alter Beast. I think it was like the first Alter Beast show. Yeah,
I miss Soma Ross and Alter Beast, dude. Holy shit.
Yep. So I remember that the Fallujah Facebook page was like, shout out to the dude who made it rain last night. Like,
that's right.
At least somebody remembered it.
Yeah, I think Alex wrote that post, and we were like in the van or out back or something. We wrote that. I
have footage of that dude at that show. I took the video. Yeah.
Okay.
It's on my
you might have to show me sometime.
Andrew's like, that was sick, dude.
Yeah,
sick.
I was literally thinking about yeah, dude, that was pretty sick, dude. And I'm still trying to remember in my brain.
Yeah.
I just said I'd test you, man. So there you go.
Failed, dude. I'm fucked. I fucked up hard.
You did the same thing. You did the same thing I'm just talking about. Going like, oh yeah. So yeah, it was that day. Oh yeah. Like you start going through like.
I was literally going in my head until you brought up like the guy raining money on the stage thing and the Make It Rain post, and I was like, now I remember.
Yeah.
But it took a significant moment like that.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
For me, a musician that's so used to doing shows pretty frequently and then being on tour, like it's crazy the drastic changes between someone's personal experiences to another's kind of thing, you know? And
or other random shit has to happen. Like I'll remember Lamplight in Vancouver because Bill, it was like a high stage and Bill stage dove and got like punched in the eye by accident and had a black eye from that point forward. And we went back into the States after that. So I'll always remember that venue because of all that shit.
Yeah. Something's got to happen. Like you'll never, because there's so many things I just don't remember. It's like, because like what you're getting back at, Andrew, like you're talking about like, you're there. It's their one show that they're like, this is the show that was so sick, but this is like show number 26 for you. And like, and to them, like, especially like when you start like making like friendships and stuff on the road, people kind of treat you like, oh, this is show number 1, right? This is like, you know, like they don't take into their head that you've been playing constantly every night and like going on this fucking trek the whole time. So they kind of treat it like, yeah, dude, let's go out and do a bunch of stuff. And you're like, dude, this
party
is like
time.
A party time. You're like, dude, this is
everyone,
like my 37th show.
We're trying to go to bed.
Exactly.
I am trying to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I probably got to drive in like 3 hours. So
exactly.
You have fun. I'm gonna eat this taco from Taco Bell, and then I'm going to get some sleep and then wake up
next
and then be shot driving to the next show.
Yeah. If I go to sleep right now, I will be shot. So like if I go out and do more, I will be like a kind of shot that's just not even able to play a show. It's like, you know,
I can drink for sure on tour if I want to experience immense pain for the rest of the tour.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's no way I could drink the way that we did on tour 10 years ago, 12, what was it, 13?
But also too, Andrew and Casey have to play drums. Like we could just go up there and like they have to like exert energy and like use their body and like burn fuel, you know. Like
I sometimes like to think the drums that death metal dudes have to do on tour, especially, you kind of got to treat it like not like Olympic athletes, but it's like you're out like you're doing like your professional circuit kind of thing. So when you're home, it's like, okay, you're home for training, and then tour is it's game time. Like you just got to go out there and just do what you can. Performance, yeah. That's why we're always so wrecked when we come home. I get horribly wrecked after every tour, joints and muscles hurting and like back things, and I probably like banged my hands like 50 times on the road, or cuts and bruises somewhere I didn't even know I got till like 3 days later. And then I'm like home and I'm like, dude, I didn't realize how much hurt I've been in because I've been like ripping hard drums for like 40 minutes, and then I gotta rush to get off and break down kit and then load it in a trailer, and then no sleep, and then not as much frequent food.
Time to pay attention to your pain,
dude. I don't got time for pain.
I feel like as far as being a touring band, there should be like like all the band members should go through a training. Like, all right, help the fucking drummer load his drums up. Like, like help him like pack all that shit up. Cause like I'm like, I just rolled up a cab. I rolled up a cab and like put a head up and like plugged one cord into the other thing.
You put your microphone in your little microphone bag and put your backpack.
I think I love the unsaid member was just all singers. Everyone's like responsible for your own stuff. So if you got a drum kit, you got to deal with that. If you got a microphone, you got to deal with that. It's like, dude, that's not fair, bro.
As a vocalist, I always made sure I helped out Casey and Troy as much as I could. Because all I had
anything helps.
Wireless and synth.
Just carry a tom, dude. Just carry a tom.
Dude, can you just take the floor tom? Can you just like pick up? Dude, can you just pick up this like drum here and just bring it to the trailer?
Yeah,
it's just one. Hey, it's just one drum. It's just a drum, dude.
It's a trip though. It's an extra trip that you're saving. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like from going from the stage to the trailer. So it's
consolidating gear. There's always the worry too of someone just snagging your snare drum or your snare bag or your electronic box like in between an individual going and grabbing things and someone at the trailer. You know, like there's always that worry too. That's sometimes more of my bigger worries. Like I don't want my shit jacked 'cause I'm not at my other spot where my kid is because I'm now at the trailer watching the door open and
it fucking happens a lot.
I was just about to say, unfortunately, it is a reality.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Well, the hard thing
people
is
snagging guitars, snares, stuff like
Dan
that.
got a guitar stolen on tour. Like, it's like the hardest thing about tour, especially playing like fast music, is like if one thing goes wrong, it's so hard to maintain. Like you're like if you're healthy and everything's fine and you're on your shit, like and you're comfortable, like. Then you can like when we toured Europe, we were like in a bus and it was like no big deal. Like
that's why I love Europe tours so much because I'm like, I don't got a motherfucking drive. I got all these dudes help me with gear. I'm sharing a drum set.
Exactly.
My responsibilities are like a lot less. Crew. And I'm actually getting probably like 8 hours or more of sleep for like a night, you know?
Yeah.
And food, coffee, way too much booze.
Europe wins. Europe wins for metal in general.
Fun.
Europe,
I just love Europe tours just for that reason alone. Europe festival runs are some of the best, like because they're short. They're just quick, short stints. You don't burn out too hard. You know, same thing. Bus or Sprinter van or something.
Yeah, like the last Decrepit tour I did with like Vader is like 2009 at the end. I like had this. I don't want to get into the details, but I had this like pain that was like caused from like sitting on the drum seat and like in my leg, and it got like worse like on the tour, and I couldn't like it didn't get better until I like got home off the tour and like finally went away. But like
rested, you recovered.
There was like the last shows of that tour, like up in like the Northwest, like in Seattle and like Oregon and stuff. Like even in Denver, I played like a super sloppy set because I was like in so much pain, like I couldn't like do double bass right, and that's like one of the reasons I quit too. I was like so fucked, like I couldn't even play, you know.
You weren't recovering enough between shows.
I just couldn't. And I was like so bummed on my performance that last tour, and so man, like just one little thing can like, especially when you're doing drums like that, like fuck, dude, like it hurts so. I like remember the pain now, like in my left leg, like how it just.
I can't imagine, dude. Yeah,
trying to just muscle through those songs, just like fuck, like I couldn't sit on the drum seat, dude.
It's worse when you're like when you're sick, when you're like when you've already got a cold or you got a stomach bug.
Oh yeah,
dude, because you have to forego your like internal pain from whatever you're dealing with to now exert yourself at that same level to perform well. In most cases, you're probably on a click track too, so there's like no extra longer rests in between the songs or something like that. I've been brutally sick on tour before and still had to play like a few sets before
thing. So it's like, don't you think that like with all the exertion and anxieties and stress and shit that we've been talking about on this episode right now, like that kills the immune system? That's probably why it's so fucking common that all of us got sick on at least one or more tours because we physically let our guards down and got sick.
I want to give a quick shout out to a Robin Stone on that Vader tour. He learned Augury set like fucking a week before and then played the Amenta, and then one time he got swine flu and played both sets with swine flu. He was like wrapped up in the back with like towels and shit, and they're like, you're on, and you just go on. like he was like dying, and like and same with Eric Rutan. There was times on Black Dahlia where like he had 104 temperature. He's sitting in the back. We get off stage. He's sitting there like with towels on him and shit, like sweating his ass off, and just we're like, all right, dude, Eric, you're on, dude, and just like, all right, and just like snapped out of it. And like between every song, I remember like seeing him like play like just normal Hate Eternal. He had no idea that he was sick. He would turn around to his amp. I was standing behind his amp, and he would just sit there and just be like, oh, like this, like grimacing, like you said with the face, like seeing someone's face, like you can actually see how they're feeling. He just would turn around, like turn the stage stuff off, and just be like, like this, like fucking like dying in pain, and just like would turn around and be like, all right, motherfuckers, like, you know, would just like find this something in his brain to make him like push through it. And I was like, Jesus, man, I literally just woke you up, and you're like pushing through this right now. It's insane.
So he's basically taking like a quick moment in the midst of the chaos to be authentic to his pain, and then back to remasking myself.
Yeah. He's like, nope,
God.
Exactly. He's all my fucking stage show, and then my pain.
Oh my God! And then Mom, I hurt my tummy. Medicine. Right, motherfuckers.
Exactly. Just to be able to separate that I was like the skill that I didn't know existed.
Dude, you got to do it sometimes, though, man. Like that's it sucks. Like that's the environment we're in, but man, means you can probably handle anything at that point, you know.
Exactly.
Robin Stone actually shared a Cali Death podcast episode on Facebook recently, and I said, let's get you on. So
yeah, fuck yeah, I'd love to have him. He's the man.
Yep.
Sick, dude.
Well, I think, Andrew, we've had you for almost 3 hours, man.
I do need to feed my dog.
Yeah.
Give him that chicken, dude.
I gotta get some chicken in him. I gotta get some chicken in me, man. It's time to eat.
Nice.
Yeah.
Get that chicken.
Thanks for coming on, though. I appreciate.
Thank you. Thank you for real. Thank you so much for having me.
We will. We're kind of local folks, so hope to see you at some shows, man. We'll,
you got it for sure.
Oh yeah.
This won't be the last time.
Fuck yeah.
No doubt.
Last time on.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Dude.
Seriously, guys.
Thank you for sharing all your life struggles and triumphs and all that shit, dude.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, dude.
Means a lot.
Oh man, it hit hard.
Plug anything you want. Any merch spots people can go to buy some shit.
Just keep your. I don't know. I'm outside of Fallujah. I'm just trying to do session work for bands here in the Bay Area that might travel out to bands somewhere out in like America, maybe Canada one day or something like that. But just doing session work for a lot of people. I'm just trying to stay safe right now in COVID still. Hope you all have a good holiday season, and please, just hang on a little longer. I hope COVID is going to finish up pretty soon.
How do we watch your stream if we want to watch it on Twitch?
So you can find me on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Twitch at Sigma Caldera. So it's exactly the same handle. Twitch.tv/Sigma Caldera. I typically stream 3 days a week, Tuesdays and Wednesdays or Thursdays, and then Saturday or bigger streams on Sundays. And I'll do like a mixture of gaming, drum scene, drum stream stuff. We do a lot of chatting and like topic discussion stuff, kind of like what we're doing here in podcasts, but more geared towards like mental health stuff. It's a really good, safe community and stuff, and I'm really just honored to be a part of it and be developing a safe space to talk about things like this. And you boys are welcome to come by anytime.
I would love it. I'm gonna start checking it out for sure.
I might be since this podcast drops, I'll probably be streaming, I think, next on Sunday. I had a bit of a family scare with our dog recently, so I haven't streamed for like a week, but I'm gonna get back to it on Sunday, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter at Sigma Caldera, SIGMACALDERA. You can find me on Facebook. I'm not as active as I used to be on there and stuff. And then Fallujah album 5 next year, and I hope to be in 10 more other bands' albums next year, just to help them out and stuff. So
fuck yeah.
And we'll see what 2022 has in store for metal, hopefully post COVID too. Yeah.
Drop some super chats for fucking Andrew in here. Get some cash. Fucking help him out, man. Fucking musicians need all the help we can get right now. and one of the best musicians actually is in the Bay Area.
Come to Twitch. We have cookies and biddies and stuff and funny shit
bits,
and
bits
memes.
and stuff, right?
We got tons of memes and bits and cool shit. It's cool.
Yeah.
A lot of friends out here. Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Good stuff.
rock on, guys. Venmo Casey Howard at
What?
I know. What did that go?
Because you were just talking about super chats. I'm just fucking around.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Rock on. Love you guys. You fucking asshole, dude. You're supposed to just go with the joke, dude. Even if it doesn't make sense.
How was he supposed to put
I
the
didn't know
super
what the
chat to
joke.
Venmoing? I don't know.
That's funny.
It is Grandpa. We got Grandpa Trapani on the fucking
Grandpa Trapani? Motherfuckers, I call him my best friend and he still can't tell me my fucking last name right. All right, dude.
Trapani.
Rock on Hornier. Joel Hornier. All right, dude. Love you guys. Rock on. We'll see you guys next week with some other sick shit, dude.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Bye.
Later. Bye.